Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another broadcast here. Another day, another edition of the HomeStory Cup 27 Group Stage Group A replay cast. I'm, of course, just live VIP with you, enjoyed by these amazing players, by the Hoon Chat, and by the plushies as well. No plushies, not this time, I suppose. But joined by the Ethereal Brilliance. I don't think this theme ever came into play in the event itself, but regardless, welcome one and all. And I do apologize for our stream not going live over the past 24 hours. We had to reschedule the podcast. We did miss out on Pegasus Cup, and we missed out on the Wardy 3 Monday as well. So don't apologize for that. But some things did come up IRL, so I wasn't available. But we're here, we're back. And it's time to catch up, baby. Now, if you recall, at the beginning of the week, especially after HomeStory Cup, we did bring this up. We were the B stream, the official B stream for HomeStory Cup. We were quite busy over the weekend, but during HomeStory Cup, during the group stage, there were a bunch of matches that never got casted. Unfortunately, the way the format works, or the way the system works at HomeStory Cup, in the group stage, there are 3 matches happening at once, but there were only 2 English streams. So there's a third of the group stage that never got casted, that never got broadcasted. So we're here live to bring some of that to you here and now. It is a couple of days after the event itself, but we're going to be catching up today and tomorrow with those matches, with those missing group stage matches. Let's go, baby, let's go. I say missing, I do know that the mainstream, they poke their head in, maybe 1 game at a time or 2 games at a time. If you recall, the way the mainstream worked was that they had an observer in both series at once, and whenever they had some downtime, they'd hop over into another series so they could jump back and forth at times, just to minimize downtime. But we're here to catch up on the series from beginning to end. Here we go. When it comes to today's matches here, we're going to be starting things off with Mana versus DNS, followed by Lambo versus DNS, Mana versus Optimisk, Ryung versus Optimisk, and Mana versus Fiant. At the time, we were covering most of Fiant's matches. We're covering most of Fiant and Optimisk, their matches being covered here on the channel. The mainstream, they did cover most of Lambo's series. Still have 1 Lambo series here to jump into, but yeah, let's go. Let us go. Going to be kicking things off here with our PvP as we jump into game 1 on Daylines. Let's go. But again, I do apologize for not being live for the past 24 hours. Again, it's always rough because, fun fact, that was our first day not going live in months. In months, papi. I think our first official last day off was the 25th of December last year. But I know that there was 1 day that we had off just because I think of I think I had no internet at the time or no electricity. But I remember there was 1 forced day off that we had in March. So since March, we've been live on a daily basis every single day, at least once a day, typically twice a day, until now. So smooch. We'll try to keep our streak going. We'll try to keep it back up. As spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is Mana. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the French Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. It is DNS. You look after yourself. I know. Thank you, Rowdy. Thank you. Do appreciate it. It's Esther Rowdy. Heard this is not pre-recorded. No. We unfortunately we have not. We don't do that. We don't pre-record or rebroadcast on the channel. I think maybe we've done that once. Actually, I think maybe once we've done something along those lines. Maybe a couple of years ago, back in 2021 or something. But we're live. We're live with replays. For now, though, we're going to be opening up 2-gate opener here out of DNS. Likewise, a 2-gate opener out of Mana as well. We are going to be hiding our initial probe here on the map, and we will hide the second pylon. Okay, so DNS with a cheeky opener is going to be hiding his pylon, making it look like he's going for a cheese, looking to go for a proxy or an all-in, when really he's scouting. Really, he's just moving out. He is scouting instead. Mana across the map is none the wiser, though, as he is scouting into the main base. Yeah, there we go. He does confirm the pylon is missing. So Mana knows that something is wrong. We can see that everything is normal, but Mana is not fully aware. Not yet. Also, it's great to see DNS once again. I think I said this at the time, I'll reiterate. DNS, he was a very active and very prominent player in the European region even a year ago. If you remember DNS, he was on Berserker. He was on Berserker Esports. They were a very active team. They were competing in WTL. But of course, when WTL went on hiatus, an indefinite hiatus, Berserker, they did disband their team. They disbanded their pro roster, and as a result, players like Mixu, became teamless. DNS also became teamless. And since then, we just haven't really seen DNS be too active since then. DNS ShoWTimE is another good example as well, where honestly, like DNS and ShoWTimE, they were both performing really, really well and both improving and kind of rising the ranks of the European Protoss region, or Protoss scene, I should say. But yeah, they've been a little more inactive in recent times, so it's great to see DNS once again. Great to see him again. We used to cast him more regularly when, WTL was around. Meanwhile, Deladet does move out across the map. Amana, he will find the pylon, is now fully aware that there's no proxy, there is no shenanigans occurring behind the Stargate opener out of mana, and is moving in. Oh, is trying to at least, but DNS, does miss the force fields, and will maybe get one. No, not even an Epsilon do come into the shade, but the wall is solid, forced to recall, and Mana will escape with everything. It will escape. Oracle moves out, checking the vision. I believe DNS just went for the hallucination. There we go. He is moving in now. Does confirm the Stargate is aware of the Oracle. So thankfully DNS, he is fully aware of what's coming his way. Behind this, the army's getting in position. It's a late reaction, it's a late scouts, but does get here in time. The Oracle is going to be zoned away. It's going to be forced back. Likewise, Twilight Council opener or follow-up out of mana, so Stargate, Oracle in towards Blink. I believe only invested into the first one. Yeah, only one Oracle from the side of mana. Only one. Does gain map control. I see in the chat, show pants or pre-recorded. Este rowdy. Ay. You're so rowdy. God damn it. Pre-recorded, confirmed, baby, confirmed. As the Oracle does, the bin gets one, gets two in total, 2 pro kills, not bad. Not bad at all. Behind this Blink is going to be on the way. We have an additional gateway in production as well. It's going to be in the main, so 3 gates set up here, so extra gateways out of mana. No forge, no +1. Will get eyes on the third base though, is fully aware. And from here, Mana has to make a choice. He does have an extra gateway already. He can throw down a 4th gateway, a proxy 4th gateway. That's what it feels like to do to punish the greed of DNS. DNS is on a 2-gate setup, 2 gateways here in the main base. He's going to be down in production, down in army. He's going to be ahead in bases, ahead in economy, but he's going to be vulnerable. And here comes the probe. Here comes the proxy. So Mana is going for a 2-base all-in. Should be a 4-gate 2-base all-in out of Mana with Blink. And we'll see if DNS can keep up, can survive. And again, this is all to punish his opponents. Not just that, but Mana, he already has a lead. If you recall, he's already killed 5 probes throughout the course of this game. So DNS, he's already fallen behind economically, and now it's time to close it out. So here we go. We have the proxy 4th gateway. How many stalkers? We have 11. Jeez, 11 stalkers from Mana against 6. He has a double the stalker count, getting up to 12. DNS, he does hallucinate. Trying to puff his chest up. He's probing himself up here. Mana does poke in. Blink is complete for both players. Dives in. Yeah, it does go for the dive. Gets 1, gets 2 stalkers, gets 3. Oh, good. Yeah, they're being one-shot. The stalkers are being one-shot here. The sentries, they're trying to hold their own, but they tickle the stalkers here on Mana. And Mana, he will overwhelm. He'll focus on every single sentry. The boys are being pulled. So far, nice blink control. Does pull away, and does blink forward. It does blink in. Just chasing out what little is left. Unfortunately, DNS, he never quite confirmed the all-in. He did see the gateway counts. 3 gates, that was a tell, but only a tell. GG gets called, and Mana, he will take game number 1. GG. Getting an aggressive follow-up there out of Mana. He did get a nice lead early on, dealing economic damage. He was able to confirm the lack of proxy as well out of DNS, and he was just all over that game. Likewise, as soon as he saw the 3rd base spam, Proxy fourth gateway. Proxy fourth gateway. He committed to the all-in, did double down, and DNS, he had a hard time reading what exactly was going on. GG. GG well played with that. Mana does take a lead in the series. Now we're jumping in the game. Number dos. Gonna be on a Ducklings. Let's go. Yeah. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Ducklings, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss leading the series 1-0. It is Mana. The manager for Team Liquid. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the French Protoss player. We have the red Protoss down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is DNS. Here we go. So now we're going to be settling in. We are going for our initial openers once again. And we're not expecting anything too crazy here. I mean, I say that. I did see DNS going for the initial proxy pylon last game. It was a fake out. This game, he could go for a real one. True, could send out a worker, could try to hide an actual proxy, especially here on Ducklings. Ducklings is a large map. The map pool has a longer rush distance by ground. That is true, but there are plenty of proxy locations. So there's plenty of places, plenty of areas to hide some tech. Probe does break in for his scouts. DNS, he's active on the map. He's being active. Probe is sent out. And so far, there's nothing hidden. There's nothing hidden. There's no pylon out on the map. There we go. Second pylon here for DNS in the main. Likewise, second pylon for Mana. So no one is hiding anything. We do have some standard builds so far this time from both players. So calming things down. Pylons have been placed. Is going to be Stalker Sentry out of Mana. Stalker Sentry out of DNS. Standard builds. Settling in. So after an intense game one, here everything's looking pretty normal, pretty standard, pretty macro. Obviously, we can still turn this into an eventual 2-base all-in, so we'll keep an eye on the gateway count. As I mentioned last game, one of the signs of aggression for Mana was the fact that he had a third gateway. Like, that is not usual, or that is not typical. That is something that you can take note of. And we saw that DNS, he was cutting corners last time by skipping his third gateway and going for the faster third base. So there are different tells here that we can see one player be more aggressive than the other. And likewise, from here we can also go for a Stargate opener as well. But for now, we are expanding. But now we're taking our natural bases. There it is, Twilight Council out of Mana. Opening up into early blink, and we'll see where DNS takes us. So you're waiting for our tech of choice. Oh, we have the answer, Robo. Okay, it's gonna be a Robo opener instead. Hallucination does move out, and we'll get a read on what's going on. It does get a full scout of the main. Is now aware of blink. Now where? Behind this, DNS going into a river opener typically means that he's going to be the more defensive player. He does have extra early immortal production. He can go for a prism to be aggressive across the map and to harass a little bit. For the most part, though, he should be the more defensive player here, at least initially. This can turn into a 2-base all-in with a Glaive Adepts, true, so we'll keep an eye on the Twilight Council timing. Otherwise, Mana, he'll have the more mobile army instead. He gets a full scout, he's fully aware of the river opener, and Mana, we'll see if he responds with a faster third base into a greater economy, or with aggression, as DNS does take the third, and Mana does scout. Adepts are moving in. Ooh, the third base is going to be delayed. A nice pick off here from DNS. Does delay. Shades away as well. So it does have a nice lead, but Mana, he's going to play catch up. And looks like he does intend to expand. Goes on the pylon. Mana is only on 2 gateways. And the probe 6 around. So it will expand. So both players are taking their 3rd bases. Again, Mana, the pressure is on him to be active, so he's moving out. He needs to. He needs to poke in, get a pylon, get a shield battery, get a unit here or there. Do whatever he can. As he pokes in, it up, shade into the mineral line, not bad. Does 9 mining time. Gets on top of the shield battery. Takes down 1. Head up, shade into the main. Ooh, they're going to be dealt with though. No major damage yet, but damage nonetheless. Gets a couple of probes. Boards are being pulled. 2 probes going down. Can we get 3? Not quite. Oh, actually, never mind. 3. Okay. 3 probe kills. Gets a sentry. Goes to the immortal. Massive pick off here as 1 more volley goes off. And can he get it? Oh, it's going to be close, and he will. Oh, it's so close, but last barely not. So DNS barely holds on. Immortal's on 1 HP. Yo, 1 HP Immortal at the same time. Destination into the main base. Workers are going down. 13 probe kills. Ay. Yeah, 14 workers falling. That should not have happened. And with that Mana, he's crippled. 14 workers go down. He fails to kill the Immortal. And Mana, he has to commit. He has to move out. He has to commit. Behind this charge has begun. We have a gateway explosion. Prism's on the way as well. The Prism will help reinforce. Mana does have the concave. Does have the high ground, or at least had it. Gets a Stalker. He trades 1-to-1. 1-to-2. Does trade. Oh. Now DNS up to 3 modals. But where's the Prism is what I want to ask. He's making more modals behind this. There is no Prism, there are no reinforcements. DNS is overextending. He's heavily overextending. There's that recall. 1 immortal goes down. Whew. Does get 1. Again, DNS being a little bit too cavalier. He does get 7 more probe kills. Again, DNS, he has the economy. Meanwhile, Mana slipping into the main. Slip in, triggers the shields. They do get triggered. Massive warp into the main base. Probes are going to be going down. Cells are doing well for themselves. So far, so good. Ooh, does depower charge alongside +1. Nice damage dropping here into the 3rd. DNS getting pulled apart. Probes are going down, and the main army moves in, but does not get the immortals. But these zealots, I mean, they're cheap and they're getting a lot done. Going for another warp in. The main base is getting depowered. And DNS is being pulled apart. GG gets called. He cannot handle this. And with that Mana, with the comeback, he was crippled, losing so many workers initially across the map. But he does pop off, does pull DNS apart, and will claim the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Mana, he will claim the series, will take the 2-0. Impressive play there out of Mana. Again, I would say that DNS was in a better position. He had crippled his opponent. He was building up on 3 bases. Unfortunately, though, he was unable to keep up with the Prism. More importantly, the Prism depowered the Twilight Council, depowered the Forge, so those upgrades were a non-factor. They were a non-factor there. Production was also going down, so we had limited warp-ins, and we saw that because of that, even though DNS had an economy, the immortals, they were pinned, right? They were stuck trying to keep up with the main army, so he had very limited reinforcements or very limited supply to try to defend his fringe bases. His main base, his 3rd base, he just could not keep up. Also didn't help that his production was being depowered. It meant that he could barely warp in to defend. GG. GG well played. With that, Mana does claim the series. Impressive play, and we're going to be following DNS into his next matchup, into a PvZ. Here we go. Up next is going to be a PvZ between Lambo and DNS. Let's go. Who would pants at a time like this? True, true. Where are the pants? As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the German Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Lambo. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the French Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. It is DNS. Here we go. And again, DNS, he wasn't looking too bad at all against Mana previously. Like, they had a pretty tense game number 2, and again, even DNS was ahead at certain aspects, at certain points. But just things just escalated very quickly out of control towards the end of that game, with that Prism, with those reinforcements, with all the Zealots. Was torn apart, but we'll see if he can hold his own against Lambo. Of course, Lambo, he has been more informed than we've seen in quite some time. I think he's spoken on to himself how motivation can definitely be an issue at times, and Lambo does benefit from preparing for like a big tournament. Of course, Lambo is one of the few at HomeStory Cup that did qualify for the EWC, for the Esports World Cup. Lambo, alongside Gabe, alongside ShoWTimE, the 3 German boys are all going to be there, of course. So there's that to look forward to, and they're very much so in form, very much so. So we'll see if DNS can keep up. For now, Gate expanded to Cybercore, standard opener out of DNS. And likewise, that Lambo going for a standard opener as well. So far, so good. DNS does a fan out. With this just confirming the opener, just confirming the timing of the hatchery, making sure there's no shenanigans early on, like any earlier gases or earlier tech. Pro Scout's a little bit too late to block the expansion, but is able to poke in nonetheless. And we'll see how Lambo will approach this. Welcome to Persephone. Persephone is one of the smaller maps of the map. Well, I should say shorter rush distance. Shorter rush distance, very direct rush distance as well. Here we have seen a lot of aggression, a lot of German taxis. Lambo is quite fond of that kind of style, that kind of approach in this matchup, so that is going to be a viable option here for Lambo. We'll keep an eye on the lair timing. We'll keep an eye on some of the tech as well, to try to recognize that if we do go for an all-in. Otherwise, Stargate from DNS. Now, the location of the Stargate is peculiar to me. Typically, you don't hide the Stargate like this. Typically, you want the Stargate closer to the edge. And Stalker first as well. Yeah, Stalker first. Sorry, I should say Adept into Stalker. We're going to be keeping the Overlord pin. We're denying vision. This is very suspect. Checking the rally here. There we go. Now, this isn't too crazy, but the goal is to bank up the Oracle. You can see the first Oracle is rallied here behind the base, and the goal should be to keep it hidden, make a second Oracle, and because the Oracles are going to be so delayed, because the timing is going to be so off, there's a high chance that Lambo skips his spores and is caught with his pants down by the double Oracle. Yep, so we're keeping one at home, and we're waiting for the second. So we're waiting for the second Oracle. You can see Lambo, he does have his Lings on patrol. What he's looking for here is the War Prism. He's looking for the War Prism. This looks like a Twilight Council opener. That's why, bam, early Roachhorn. So early Roachhorn here out of Lambo. He is being very safe. Again, expecting Adepts or Dark Templar. So he's looking for the Prism. He's getting ready for, I mean, the worst case scenario. We should be seeing a Spore in between the bases soon, just in case it is going to be DTs. Let's get eyes on some Adepts. Lings are amassing, Lambo cutting workers early. And there it is, Spore at the third, a Spore at the natural. No Spore in the main. And here come the Oracles. As we mentioned, this is designed to catch the Zerg player off guard, catch him with their pants down. Lambo is being efficient, but that might cost him. Again, no Oracles defend. Drones are going to fall. He gets one, he gets, two. Bit of miscontrol there out of, bit of miscontrol out of DNS. Does miss a shot. Only 2 drone kills. That's could have been worse. That should have been a little bit more here. And Lambo holds. Lambo, he does hold on. Now, what I will say, on the one hand, yes, DNS didn't kill a lot, and he could have killed a little bit more, I will say that. But Lambo, he was forced to invest into this. We have all these Ducklings. We have delayed droning out of Lambo. So Lambo's economy is actually worse than it should be in this game state. So he has a worse economy because he's been investing into this army, because he invested into the Roach Warren as well. Units and tech structures that he didn't need. So this build here from DNS could have been a little bit better, but still achieved some damage. Lings, they poke in, they get one, they get two, they get, oh, up to three. 3 probe kills. The Oracles, they will punish. They get a Roach. Behind this, Lambo claiming a 4th base. Is droning, taking all of his gases, working on his lair. Now from here, it's a later Eva chamber. Later Eva chamber. I was gonna say there's a high chance it's gonna be plus on range into earlier Hydra tech, into maybe even Hydra straight into Lurker. We can see, nah, the other one. Spire into Muta. Oh boy. And again, this is just a really good way to take advantage of the fact that the upgrades are just gonna be heavily delayed. So for now, we're just gonna be ignoring it. It's gonna be skipping it. Eva chamber now done. And what's scary here is that Lamb is being active with these Ducklings and he's keeping the Oracles busy. Ideally, DNS would be on the map. He'd be scouting, revelation, getting to the mineral lines, trying to confirm what's going on, but the Oracles for now are stuck at home. Ooh, behind this, we do not have Blink. It's going to be +1 in charge on the way. Temple Archive, so Archon production. We do have an Archon drop opener, but actually, the gateways are done, and this is going to hit quite hard. He can just warp in the Zealots straight up. And he's going for it. Yeah, he's going for it. DNS is pushing. Here come the Zealots. And if Lambo was droning, he'd be in danger here, but he does make a wave of roaches. It's going to be close. Lambo, he was gearing up towards Mutatech. No upgrades either. Charge, let's say dive in. The Queens, they do respond. 1, 2, 3. Queen's going to be going down. Link's trying to engage. Like, this is good damage here from DNS, but it's not enough. Yeah, it's not enough. He's being shut down, being forced back. Zealots, Adepts, they do shade into the mineral lines. They do get eyes on the Spire. Nice scout out of DNS. Does scout. So DNS is aware Muta production has begun. 8 Mutas, that's more than enough to one-shot. To one-shot workers, I mean. To one-shot probes. The Overseer does go into the bases, just confirming what's going on. Phoenix production has begun. There's a recall. Yo, contamination on the Stargate. Let's go. Esther Lambo. Does contaminate, and here come the Mutas. Mutas towards the main, and the main army towards the 3rd. Now DNS is in position. Does have his army, but doesn't matter. Again, he was quite committed earlier, and he didn't really do enough damage. He killed some Queens. Killed some Roaches, but a brutal surround. No shield battery. Yeah, no shield battery, no defensive setup. He has a cannon. Will deflect. That was a nice pick up here from Lambo. Does he know the stasis? He does not. Ooh, stasis good. Brutal stasis, actually. Does connect. DNS is holding his own. He is holding on. Behind this, trying to mass up. More cannons, more immortals, more stasis traps. Trying to keep up. Oh, catching up the army. Yeah, nice, very nice around here on those roaches. Very efficient trades out of DNS. He is trading well. Lambo dives into the bases. Oh, catches the Phoenix. Gets one. Gets a cannon in the main. Does magic box here on the Prism. Prism goes down as well. And DNS is all in. DNS is committing. He's not droning, he's not saturating. He's sending everything across the map. And Lambo did invest quite heavily into these mutas. 24. It's going to be difficult to engage with the Archons. Once again, does dive in. Nice magic boxing. Does focus on the Archons, or focusing down whatever he can. Gets one, gets two. Oh god, more Archons have it. That's a lot of Archons. That's a lot of Archons, back. Yeah. Lambo forced retreat. Yeah, with that DNS, he will break down the expansion. Lambo trying to catch reinforcements. Speaking of, does get the Prism. Not again. Not again. And forces a recall as well. I'll be honest, DNS, I feel like the base trade may have been the best option here for him. Like, recalling against these mutas, they're going to leave. He can't catch them. Muse catch a Phoenix. They go further into the main. They're picking up pylons. And DNS, he's racing back into his own main. He's giving Lambo more room, more time. Takes down the mineral line. 16 probe kills. He can rotate over and hit the expansion. So the main army's moving in. Setting up for the surround. Oh. They do stack for a moment. Snipes the expansion. Pulls away. Yeah, just playing it safe, playing it slow. It's a base. Gets an Archon. Oh god. Does take a lot of damage. Yeah. Later he threads the needle, avoids the stasis traps, just barely, just by happenstance even. Okay, Roach is being dealt with. 14 probe kills at the same time. Oracles, they do dip in across the map. But Lambo, at this point he's done. At this point he's done. He has just torn DNS apart. Gets into the bases. 27 probe kills. Deep House of Fleet Beacon denies annual pulse crystals just barely. At this one, you could even just dive on the Archon. Even stacking. And again, DNS, I mean, his moment in this game was when he pushed out across the map. He killed the base, he took a fight, but he did choose to recall. He chose to recall, he chose not to base trade. And in that moment, Lambo, he was able to run away with it. Not saying that DNS would have won the game then and there, but I mean, that was his opportunity to do so. His chance. As the music just did so much damage. Once again, Muse driving the Phoenixes. They chase him down. Roach is going to be collapsing in. And we're down to one Archon, down to a handful of Stalkers. From this point, Mass Muta can excel. Oof. Hiding back. Lambo does retreat, but the economic damage here is brutal. 20 probes. DNS is down to 20 workers. Down to less than a one base economy. Lambo across the map, freely mining. He's on 70 drones, taking more expansions and remaxing. It's free to remax. Likewise getting caught out. It's getting caught out. Leading our Phoenixes. Phoenixes are going to be falling, and GG gets called. Yeah, there's just not much left over here. Lambo will take game number 1. GG. Does take a lead. And again, DNS had his own moments in that game as well. We did speak on it about his own. I mean, he had a cheeky build, which didn't quite do too much damage. We saw him eventually though move out, break out, have that's the central army I'm going to work with, especially early on before the muta count got a little bit too overwhelming. But alas, was unable to break through. And with that, we're getting into game 2. Getting into game number 2 here. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the German Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Shopify. It is Lambo. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as a opponent, we have the French Protoss player, we have the red Protoss. It is DNS. I do recommend checking out the mainstream VOD as well. DNS, he was able to get onto the casting couch a couple of times, catch up with everyone, cast a couple of games. Always good fun. Always, always. As from here we are settling in. Is going to be the initial just hatch gas pull here out of Lambo. Likewise, DNS going for a gate expand Cybercore as well. Just catching up. Not seeing Gimme Ho at EWC. My heart is still broken. Yeah, it's sad. I mean, it was very heartbreaking. I mean, that's how brutal the qualifiers were, right? I mean, now the qualifiers are over. We have our confirmed players, but so many players came so close yet so far. Players like Gumiho, players like Creator as well, players like Goblin. Yo, Goblin, he was popping off. It was crazy. It was crazy. Ryung as well. Ryung got very close, amongst many others as well. But that's StarCraft, right? It can be quite brutal. So best of luck to all the players that are going to be at EWC. That's, of course, going to be at the end of the month. And this is almost like a precursor to that. HomeStory Cup, I mean. There's still a lot of other events happening, right? There's the FE, there's the Fusion StarCraft, Fusion Esports League. There's RSL as well. True, true. We're all gearing up for EWC at the end of the month. But now Stargate if now DNS. Now, as a reminder, last game DNS had a peculiar build of intentionally keeping his Stargate hidden behind the main base, backing up the Oracles and catching Lambo off guard. And again, it was a nice start. It was a nice start. Wasn't amazing. Didn't do too much damage, direct damage, but was able to achieve a lot of indirect damage. This time it's closer to the edge of the base, so this tells us we're just rallying. And you can see the rally as well. We're just rallying across the map. Just going to be a standard Stargate opener this time. And welcome one and all to Ultra Love. Ultra Love is, you know what it's known for? It's known for all-ins. Pappy is a very small map, short rush distance by ground, short rush distance here from base to base, and we often see a lot of German taxis. I did speak on that in the last game. We didn't quite get that. We had just a more quirkier start to game number 1, and Lambo did embrace Mass Muta instead. But here, something more ground focused and ground heavy is a little bit more likely out of Lambo. As the Oracle does move out. And so far we're just joining. We're just saturating, so we'll be able to keep up with the Oracle. Queens are in position. Oracle gets a tumor so far. Nothing crazy. Oracles are moving out, so Queens they intercept once again. Catching out the catching out the Oracles despite that 4 drones go down. Nice damage. Queens are a little bit too late. The drones were a little bit too early. It's a nice punish there by DNS. I say third Oracle's moving out. Airlift confirms there's no crazy early tech. Not yet. Oh, that is a little bit different though. Okay, now checking the vision, Lambo, he did see the Robo. Seeing a Robo instead of a Twilight Council or Forge is a tell here that something's a little bit off. Robo into a Forge, into a delayed Twilight Council. This does feel like Prism into an Archon drop. That's what it feels like here out of DNS, which is quite similar to what we saw last game. It's quite similar. So this does look like a delayed Archon drop build out of DNS. Lings, they collapse on the Adepts. Robo Robo's finishing up. We're waiting for the Twilight Council. Has yet to be thrown down. DNS, he is banking up quite a bit. He is banking. Takes down the Queen, but we'll lose an Oracle. Brutal loss there for DNS, was not quite worth it. And again, DNS, he has a lot in the back here. Minerals, gas. Oh, going for the Bay. Okay. A Bay and a second Robo. So we're not going into a Twilight Council. I mean, obviously we were waiting for it. Never was thrown down. Instead, working towards a Bay, working towards Colossus production. This is a little bit more old school. This is a build that we used to see from ShoWTimE back in the Altitude era. That was what, like 2 years ago? Maybe more? It's been a couple of map pools since Altitude has been in the map, in the rotation. But I do recall seeing this from ShoWTimE, and I recall this turning into a +2 timing, where you hit with +2, you hit with 3 Colossus. But before we can think about that, if you recall, we spoke about it at the start of this game. Start of game 2, we spoke about how, oh, Ultra Love, we expect German taxis. Do you see what I see? German taxi. It's coming. We do have Overlord Speed, the layer's already done, Queens are amassing, Roaches are amassing, and we are going for the all-in. Yeah, we're going for the all-in. Now, it looks like we're not morphing in Dropper Lords, we're just going to be creating this creep highway across the map. Roaches and Queens, they can just walk across. Ooh. They can walk across, or we can morph in Dropper Lords as well. Regardless of how Lambo commits across the map, he is committing across the map. Okay, he just walks across. You know, you don't even need the taxi back. We just walk. We just walk. Let's go. As the Overlords are flying on over. Ravagers are morphing in. We can see DNS trying to set up here in time. He's got cannons, shield batteries. Colossus are on the way. The Colossus will help. Does force field. Does buy some time. Maybe he rotates over. Does rotate. The Colossus is out. He's got 1 so far. He's got 2. With 2 Colossus, it's going to be difficult to break the natural. Yeah, the armor gets spotted. Maybe he rotates over towards the 3rd. Ooh, does catch out some of the sentries. And 1 sentry goes down. Oh my god, they catch the Oracle as well. That was the Oracle and 2 cannons. Yeah, the battles were brutal. Colossus are trying to poke in, but there's nothing else here. Yeah, there's no support. Colossus on their own, they're vulnerable. And we can see Lambo start to step in. He gets 1. He gets 1, and he will get the other as well. No shield battery, no shield battery, no defensive setup here at the natural base. Again, DNS was not quite ready for this. Was trying to set up at the 3rd base, but it is just torn apart. And again, the rush distance on this map is just so short. There's a reason why all-ins are favored or are so common on this map. GG gets called, and Lambo will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Again, it can be quite difficult here to keep up, especially on Ultra Love from the side of DNS. Unfortunately, it was just a late scout as to what was happening, as to what was going on. Not just that, but it was also a very cheeky build. Very cheeky build out of DNS. He was not playing standard. Not at all. He was not playing safe either. He was being very tech heavy. Remember, he was delaying any kind of Twilight Council, any kind of blink-based follow-up, or even his Forge as well, in favor of what? In favor of a Robo, a Bay, into double Colossus production. Not just that, but if you remember, it was also an inefficient build as well, where DNS was banking up a lot of resources, and his Bay was later than usual. His second Robo was also later than usual as well. Everything was delayed because he was hyperfixated on the Oracle Harass, which didn't really achieve too much. So DNS, again, looking a little bit rough around the edges here, was a little bit inefficient when it comes to its execution, and on top of that was punished from said all-in. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be getting into our next matchup here. Again, Lambo does take the win. As a reminder as to the context of some of these matches, this is the group stage round robin format, so everyone plays against everyone, and we did already cast this event live. But again, we were the B stream at the time, and we were covering our own matches, but there's an entire portion of the group that never got casted. Whether it was from us, whether it was from the mainstream, just never got casted. So we're here to catch up. Here to catch up on those matches. As up next, we have a PvP between Mana and Optimisk. Let's go. Here we go. Optimisk, he was the other player that was featured here in this group, in this bracket. I could be mistaken, but I think this might have been the first HomeStory Cup for Optimisk. Let's go. As spawning in top left hand corner of Pylon, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is Mana. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the red Protoss player from the land of the UK. It is Optimus. Thank you for casting. Oh, thank you, big, thank you, este mix. Likewise, kid Colombian as well. Este colombiano. Gracias, gracias. Thank you for casting and keeping us alive. We do what we can. Do apologize for not casting yesterday. We're kind of rushing. Let's go. Forge is on the way. Probes are being sent out across the map as we speak, and Optimus is going for the cannon rush. Let's go, baby, let's go. As 2 probes are sent out, and we are setting up in the main. But again, do apologize for being unavailable yesterday, but we're here to catch up. We're here to make up for it. We have some HomeStory Cup casting to do, and also we have the Pondcast later on this evening. Maybe catching up on the Pondcast. But now the boys are being pulled. We're trying to focus down those pylons. And can we get this cannon rush going? Here comes our first cannon in the main. And again, Mana taking this so seriously here. He does pull most of the boys. And he will knock down these pylons. Likewise, cannon on the low ground as well. Already gets surrounded. He is already surrounded. Pylons are going down. Gets on top of the cannon. Ooh, but it looks like it will finish, but the Zealot is right. Yeah, the Zealot's out. The Zealot's out, so this is going to be dealt with, and Mana holds. Mana, he does hold. The cannon does finish, gets 1 probe, gets 2. Kills 2 probes, shuts down the cannon rush. The pylons are trying to get up. Oh no, the probe goes down, and there's nothing left. There's nothing here, there's nothing left. Mana, he's walling up on the high ground. You can see he's on patrol just in case. Another probe is on the way. But now Mana, he's got 2 Zealots. That's more than enough. He's perfectly fine. He's got 2 Zealots. The pylon that's left cannot actually get anything done on the low ground. Is going to be targeted. And Optimus going for a proxy outside of the base. Okay, I mean, it's going to be a tough transition here for Optimus. I mean, he's going for his own gateway back at home. Setting up across the map. The bold move. The problem here is that he can't make anything. The pylon's going to finish, but the Cybercore is not done. This looks like a prime location for a proxy Stargate, but because of the failed cannon rush, the tech is late, the Cybercore is late, and the Stargate's going to be late as well. So everything is delayed. Cybercore is finishing. Now here comes the Stargate. Oh, my apologies. Twilight Council. Okay. Twilight Council opener out of Optimus. This could be for a Dark Templar. Could be for a Dark Shrine. Meanwhile, Stargate opener out of Mana. Playing safe. Now, if Mana was up against this, Mana scouting. Mana is fending out, he's scouting across the map, looking for proxies. If Mana was being proxy roboed, if this was a 1-base all-in with Immortals, then Mana has access to Void Rays. If this was a Dark Shrine opener, which is, there's a high chance of that happening, we can always open up with an Oracle, as the Oracle's on the way, and the Oracle does have Revelations available. Adept does shade in. Is going to be Blink out of Optimus. As he's setting up here on 1 base, throwing down a wall of gateways. So he's got 3 gateways at home, and if he does get up to full 1-base saturation, he can afford yet a 4th gateway. So it's going to be a 4-gate 1-base all-in. And Mana, he's now moving out. He's already seen the setup here. Void Ray's on the way. Very safe play. Void Ray into Immortal production. I mean, you cannot get safer than this. We have Immortals, we have Void Rays. This is designed to shut down an all-in. 5th gateway across the map. Oracle does got the main. Oh wait, sorry, 5th gateway. Sorry, that's the 4th gateway. In my mind, am I crazy? Did we not see like a 4th gateway here? Was it cancelled? I swear there was one that was thrown down right here. But maybe I'm seeing things. So 3 gates at home and 1 gateway across the map. So as we mentioned at the start, yep, 1 base, 4 gate all in. 4 gate blink all in. We can see that Mana has the Sage Trap here at the ramp. Mana, he saw everything he needed to. He saw everything he needed to. 3 gateways, 1 base, no expansion. I appreciate that Mana, he's abandoning the natural. Just abandons the base, doesn't need it. Holding on the main. Holding at the main base instead. Blink is complete. It's all or nothing for Optimisk. Oh. Gonna be forced back. Yo, enki, the chat ga, papi ga. Enki. El hermoso, papi. Good to see you, good to see you. We're catching up on some HomeStory Cup replays from the group stage. Just catching up. Oh. As Optimus still threading. Mana does pull away. Just playing it safe. Does play it safe. No shield wires on low ground. Voider is taking a lot of hits. But the Immortal does punish. Does zone away. Yes, hope you've had a good time, man. Hope you had a good week. Good week. So Optimus poking in. Still warping in more soldiers at 3 soldiers at a time. Does spend a shot on the Nexus here and on the Void Ray. Yeah, a bit of a misclick out of Optimisk. The Immortals a punish. And Mana's holding. Mana is holding on. I'm most impressed here that he's holding without a shield battery on the low ground. No shield battery. Despite that, just bullies back the army. It does bully. Behind this, getting a Phoenix. Gonna be able to lift. So because they poke in, they trigger the shields. Oh, catching at the army. Void Ray does go down. Gets a Void Ray, but GG gets called. Yeah, just running out of steam, running out of supply to work with there. And Mana, he will hold. He will take game number 1. GG. Does take a lead. Good luck. I cast a Monday night in Pegasus Cup. I'll share with you. Oh, thank you, thank you. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Thank you. Unfortunately, we missed out on casting yesterday. Did miss out. But we'll be catching up. We'll do our best to catch on what we missed out on. Again, with this, yeah, there's a lot to get into throughout the course of the month of July. A lot to catch up on before EWC as well. And we're here to do so. With that, GG well played. Shout out to Optimus for attempting the cannon rush, and again, we have seen quite a lot of successful cannon rushes in recent times. Shout out to Zan, of course. If you missed out on GSL, Zan, he did cheese the hell out of Hero during GSL Season 2. And here we see Optimus maybe a little bit inspired, but not quite able to find as much success. As I mentioned, Mana, he was so quick to react, so quick to respond. He did pull almost all the boys to deal with that cannon rush, and now we're getting into game. No winner. Let's go. Jumping into game 2. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the Polish Protoss representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is Mana. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss player himself. We have from the land of the UK, Optimisk. We weren't there. We all missed it. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. I'll be there next week. Be there. For now though, we are going to be settling in. We do have our initial openers. Again, last game we did have a crazy Forge base opener and a crazy cannon rush out of Optimus, but this time we're going to be going for a more standard opener. We're calming things down. We do have our double gas in the main base from Optimus. We'll see how hard he commits. My eyes are on our workers here. Probes are sent out. But now just confirming what's going on. There we go, double gate opener out of Optimus. Likewise, double gate opener out of Mana as well. Standard openers this time. Of course, we can still attempt a high tech, but so far so good. So good. From here, we're waiting to see our initial units of choice. We can open it up with double adept, double stalker, or stalker sentry. Depending on the pairing, does kind of lead us into a different kind of form of aggression. There it is, a double adept out of Mana. Meanwhile, sentry expand out of Optimus. Okay, you have our attention. Very greedy build here from our red Protoss. He is basically skipping a second unit in favor of a faster Nexus. Even walls in the probe to make sure he does not get pylon blocked. So a very greedy play here by Optimus. Meanwhile, Mana going to be opening up double adept to harass across the map and going for a Stargate before expand. A very aggressive, very harassment focused opener. So adepts and oracles out of Mana. Does move out. There's that faster third base we did mention. Sorry, faster natural I meant to say. Again, Optimus key opened up single sentry. Open with a single sentry. Likewise, Oracle is on the way. And Mana, he's not going for any kind of crazy all-in. He's going for a later expansion instead. Let's say poke forward. Likewise, Oracle does move out. Let's say go for the shade. And they do get in. Oh, that should not have happened. They can one-shot. 1, 2, 3 probes going to be going down. Remember, the Oracle is also behind this as well. Just pulling Optimus apart. Getting 4 probe kills. Shade to the natural. Getting up to 6. 6 workers do go down. And Mana doesn't lose anything. He walks away. Does walk away. Does pull back. Mana back into the mineral line. Guess another 2 workers. 8 in total. Still just harassing, still just popping off. And we do see Mana committing, actually. Sorry, my apologies. I was a little distracted here by the harass. 4 gates. We have a 4 gate setup. Blink is on the way as well. Very dedicated on 2 bases. He opts not to expand. He's doubling down. Meanwhile, Optimus on a standard setup. 2 gate. 2 gate opener into most likely a 3rd. Optimus investing here into his economy, into a further setup. Mana, he's going to double down. He's just going to break out. He's going to break out. He's massing up stalkers as we speak. Getting ready for his push. Oh boy. Again, we're just waiting for that blink timing. We're massing up more stalkers. Optimus is playing blind. He's not fully aware of what's going on. He saw the 3rd gateway, so he has an idea. Oh god, stasis does connect. And he's going for a robo before expanding. That will help. But he needs another gateway. He needs a 3rd gateway here. Adepts, no! They shade back in. They threaten the mineral line. And they're distracting. That's the least that they're doing here. They're keeping Optimus distracted. They keep me busy. Mana checks for a third. And he will scout the rover. He's aware. Going for the stasis. Stasis into the main. Ultimus, he's expanding. And that's not going to help. And Mana is pushing. Mana, he has a massive army. We have 14 Stalkers, and he can reinforce. It does catch up the army. Gets a Stalker, gets 2 sentries. Ay, ay, ay. GG. Yeah, GG gets called. Again, Optimus with the misread, and Mana, he will claim the series 2-0. GG. A strong showing there. Oh. A strong showing there from Mana to be able to overwhelm. Again, Mana, he was able to be quite successful with his early game harassment, with his Adept harass, with the Oracle harass as well, and he chose to go for the 2-base all-in. As we pointed out, 4 gateways and blink, no 3rd base in sight. Unfortunately, Optimus never saw it. He saw the 3rd gateway in production, but that you could argue a 3-gate setup could still be safe. Like, a 3-gate setup is just a safe way to open up, and for all he knew, there could still be a 3rd on the way from Mana. We saw that there wasn't a 3rd, instead a 4th gateway, and Optimus, he was unable to confirm that. So Optimus, he did go for a robo, but he still expanded. He still got a 3rd base. He was being a little bit greedy, but he had to be as well because he had sustained so much damage. He lost so many probes in the lead up to that. He had to make a choice. Does he turn his own build into a 2-base all-in, or does he try to catch up? Tried to catch up. GG. GG, well played. With that, Mana will claim the series, and with that, Mana does take down Optimus 2-0. GG, well played. GG, well played. Does claim to the 2-0. A crazy performance there out of Mana, and with that, we are getting ready for our next series here as we are working through the bracket. Now, we're going to be going on a short break. So far, we only have 2 matches left for Group A, and we're only an hour in. If the matches are fast, if these are faster matches, then I will be jumping into Group B as well and covering those matches alongside this. For now, though, we're going to be going on a very short break. When we come back, we'll have Ryung versus Optimus and Mana versus Fiant. 2 best-of-3s remaining here in Group A. We'll see you soon. See you in a couple of moments. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew, hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OSC as we returned. We returned here with the second half of Group A. Let's go. We just wrapped up with the first 3 matches, and honestly, really fast games. Really fast series overall is what I will say. And we'll see if that trend continues as we are jumping into our Terran versus Protoss matchup, featuring some Korean on European action, Ryung versus Optimisk. Let's go. Let us go. Of course, it just featured Optimisk against Mana, and Optimisk did attempt a cannon rush, and he did try to go for a more standard and more economic setup in game number 2, but overall was overwhelmed, and we'll see how it can fare in a different matchup. There's spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Leylines. Not gonna lie, I'm half expecting a Forge, but in the left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Team Vitality. It is Ryung. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. We have the player from the land of the UK. It is Optimisk. Let us go. As we are settling in. And again, Ryung coming in as one of the few Koreans to travel to HomeStory Cup. It was Ryung, it was Xian, and Luna C. Luna C kind of offering a bit of translations, as he is a little bit more well-versed in English, so he was able to translate for Xian when it came to interviews. So it was great to see them coming together as one. Likewise, Ryung, though he was also there, Team Vitality did send a couple of their boys abroad to travel to compete, and they did quite well for themselves. But we'll see how you can compare to Optimisk. Let's go. Let us go. Meanwhile, big shout out to Holy Lime 23 in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for support for 29 months, Papi. Oh my, that's a lot of months. That's a lot of months. That's so much support. Thank you. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. We appreciate it. We appreciate it as always. Hope you enjoy the content, the casting, and the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy. As for now, Gate expanded to Cybercore. We have a bit of a more economic opening here out of Optimisk. Likewise, we do have double gas. Double gas out of Ryung, which means faster factory. It means delayed CC. So more tech-heavy style here by Ryung. Now, Ryung, he is one of the players that is willing to go for these 2 base all-ins in this matchup. So we'll keep an eye on Ryung. It is a little bit too early to really commit to saying that. But double gas means a more aggressive start to begin with. Should still expand, don't get me wrong. Technically, this could turn into a 1 base all-in. But we should be seeing a CC thereafter. Should be seeing a command center. As the Reaper does move out, is going to be the initial natural base here from Optimisk. And Ryung will expand. There we go. CC on the low ground. We're waiting to see the add-ons here. We can go Reactor Reaper Hellion. We could open up faster Tech Lab into a faster Starport, into Hellion, into add-on swap. We can go Hellion into Widowmine. So we'll keep an eye on Ryung. For now, though, Stargate opener out of Optimisk. Okay, this is a rare sight. Stargate openers are typically very map dependent and map specific. We see Stargate play on maps like, oh my god, blanking a little bit here, on larger maps like Maganatha, for example, or on specific maps like Torches. There we go. Torches, don't cast Darker for a day, you start forgetting the names of the maps. But Torches, of course, has a short rush distance by air, so Stargate play is a little bit more viable on that map, for example. Seeing it here on Leylines feels risky. There's a reason why Stargate openers fell out of favor and fell out of meta in PvT, especially on standard maps and on smaller maps as well, just because of how aggressive and how much you can punish a build like this. Stargate openers typically don't really help you too much against aggressive builds on 2 bases. Ryung scouts. Yeah, he does see, he is aware of the Stargate. How does he respond? Second racks. He already has his 1-1-1 setup. Reactor to Marine production, going into a mine drop early on. Now, this mine drop typically against a Stargate opener wouldn't be too successful, but remember, he just saw the Oracle, not the Phoenix, on the way. Phoenixes, they would shut this down, Oracle's less so. And it's Oracle opener into Twilight Council. Ooh, okay. Interesting. So, Delayed Link. Delayed Link Stalker here by Optimisk. Gateway is going to be thrown down. Oracle's active. The Oracle Stasis Trap is going to be caught. Scored out. Nice catch by Ryung. The Oracle isn't getting much done. And Ryung is building up. We do have a Phoenix on the way. We do have the mine drop staying at home, actually. not moving out, so he does respect the potential of Phoenixes. True. Does respect. As Ryung is still being active. Stim is on the way, getting to his own 3-1-1 setup. Going to be a strong and early Stim timing here. Typically, against a standard build, you would have Tech Lab on the factory, you'd have tank production. You would not have Stim this early on, but against specifically Stargate play, you can get away with earlier Stim. You can, I mean, you should be prioritizing air production, of course, or anti-air production. We'll zone away the Phoenixes. We do have a charge on the way, not Blink, as we are getting into Phoenix production. Optimus is building up. Optimus is gaining map control. But we'll see if he can keep it. We'll try to bait him in. Let's try to bait. Mind Shield doesn't quite go up. Not quite. And behind this, he does hold on his 2 bases, waiting for his upgrade to kick in. As we get into this, a big shout out to Blakadoo's in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Blakadoo's, for likewise subscribing for 22 months in a row. Oh my god, Blakadoo's. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Always for the support, whether it's with subscribing or I want to say in the last in our last stream, you also gave us 100 bits as we were logging off, as we were signing off as well, which I felt bad by because we didn't get to give you a shout out. But thank you. Whether it's for subscribing or for some of the bits as well, thank you. Do appreciate it. Ooh, as Optimus, he's engaging at a time. Water mines are ready. Mine's just about to go off. Ooh, brutal connections. Insane connection. Oh god. Zealots go down. Phoenixes go down. And Optimus, he will lose almost everything. That was a brutal fight. The water mine survived. And here comes a counterattack. Here comes Ryung. He's breaking out from his contain. He's got Stim. And not just that, but combat chills and +1 finishing up in 3 seconds. They finish up in a couple of seconds here. And Optimus, he doesn't really have much to defend against this. Remember, because of his build, because of the Stargate into Twilight Council, right now there's no splash damage. There's no Colossus, there's no Storm, there's no nothing. Scan does reveal the stasis traps. Takes down one, takes down the other, and there's nothing here. There's no shield battery. We do have a big warping of Zealots, but that's what Lunar Mines are for. Oh no, not again! Oh, Mine Shot's going up. Nice on Burrow. One shot goes off. There's still, what, 3 left? Trying to force friendly fire. Cheeky move there by Optimus, but doesn't get the damage done. With that, Ryung stims in. Star steps well. Running out of Zealots. Nice retargeting. There's another warping of Zealots as well. Mine shots are going off. And GG gets called. Ryung, he will break, he will overwhelm. And Ryung takes game number 1. GG. Ryung, he does take a lead in the series. A shout out to Pecoeta. Pecoeta. Ay. Thank you so much for subscribing for 7 months in a row as well. Thank you. Pecoeta. Do appreciate it. As Ryung does take a lead in this series here. Again, it was a bold build and a bold opener by Optimus. As we mentioned, Stargate openers are very out of favor and out of meta right now, just because of how much more aggressive Terran players have been as of late. And you saw here that, again, opening up Stargate, going into those charge ults, he just was having a really hard time keeping up. It was also brutal to see those mine shots. There was some brutal mine connections, especially early on, getting so much value against a charged ult army. We saw that Optimus, he was trying to force some friendly fire, but wasn't quite able to pull it off. Wasn't quite able to with that. GG well played. Just a really strong and a really early sim timing there by Ryung, and designed to punish that build. And with that, we're getting to game number 2, and this is a rare sight. I don't think we casted during our coverage of HomeStory Cup all 3 days over the weekend. I don't think we ever casted on Last Fantasy. We did cast on Torches. I pointed that out like 3 or 4 times. Like there were some games on Torches. I don't recall covering any matches here. And we get to for the first time in a while. Let's go. In like a week. This morning in the top side of Last Fantasy, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Team Vitality, leading the series 1-0. It is Ryung. and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. We have the red Protoss player. We have from the land of the UK, Optimus. Let's go. Have our Terran versus Protoss matchup. And again, welcome one and all to Lost Fantasy. This is the most vetoed map of the map pool. So in a best of 3, I am a little bit shocked to see this map. There are times where you play a game of chicken with your opponent and you know that your opponent wants to veto a map, so you leave it in to force them to veto it. You don't veto it yourself, even if you don't want to play on it, and then it makes it through. It just makes it through the vetoes. It's like, I guess this is happening. I guess no one wanted to like take the bait and waste their veto on Lost Fantasy, whereas there's a high chance that your opponent would veto it instead. And we're in. Double gas to open out of Ryung, a faster factory. For those that are curious, for those that maybe haven't tuned into this before, welcome to Lost Fantasy. This is a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in left side, right side, or top side as well. There are some other unique features like how defensive it is, to be honest. Like, there's a lot of choke points, there's a lot of narrow ramps here on Lost Fantasy. As you can see here, very narrow ramps, so you can fortify, you can defend on a 4-base setup relatively easily here, depending on compared to other maps. It's possible, but only if we can get there. Again, like, there's definitely like a bit of an RG factor. There's a massive amount of speed zones in the center of the map as well to rotate from one side to the other. We'll see how aggressive our players are going to be, just because we rarely get to see maps or games on this map. Now again, we just see Ryung going for his factory with that double gas. So from here we do have our CC on the high ground, getting into our openers. So far so good. So Reaper does break in. Is going to be a Stargate opener here out of Optimus. Opening up Stargate once again. Okay. Let's go. Ryung does scout. Ryung does confirm. Is aware of the Stargate. Mirror picks away. Does pull away. Third base is soon to be taken here. Optimus being quite greedy with his build. So Gate, Cyber into Stargate, into Twilight Council, into a third. This is insane greed. Jesus. Okay. Ryung going for his own 1-1-1 setup here, but again, we are cutting so many corners. We're doing so much here on a single gateway. That is insane. Okay. Now, Ryung has been playing very safe, is what I will say. He's soon to push out. And this is going to be a tough hold. Straight up, thankfully, stasis goes off on the Cyclone of all things, so very nice stasis. But Ryung, he will push nonetheless. He will maintain the lock-on a little bit longer. Again, 2 Cyclones in this moment here would be brutal, would be crucial. Ryung, he breaks in, he confirms the third base. Again, he's just rallying everything across the map. Stasis runs out. And I'll be honest, I don't know if Optimus can survive this. Does lift. Oracle is zoned away. Ooh, brutal pickups, brutal damage. The lift runs out. Third Cyclone arrives. And Optimus, he cannot engage. Stasis does get baited out. Nice control there from Ryung. Takes down the Oracle. Takes down the Phoenix. Looks into the Stalkers. We'll lose a Cyclone. We'll lose 2 even. These lock-ons are brutal. Catching out so many units, and again, he should break the expansion. This is just so greedy from Optimus. Remember, he went Gate, Cybercore into Stargate, into Twilight Council, into Third on one gateway. Now he's got two, but again, he still only has two gates. It's crazy. And Ryung, he ignores it. Yeah, he ignores the third. He just moves in. The production is exposed. Yeah, going for the mineral line. Star steps in. Boys are being pulled. And the boys do get a surround. Okay. Yeah, nice setup here. Just it's still too much. it's still gonna be too much, Pappy. The Vikings, they land. They focus on the Zealots. They can get on top of the pylon. They can and they will. Ensuring that there's only two gateways. Again, Optimus warping in 2 units at a time. Charge is done. Tank has arrived. And GG gets called. GG gets called. Ryung here overwhelms, and Ryung, he will take the series at 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Ryung, he will claim it. Bold build there out of Optimus, especially on Last Fantasy, papi. Yeah, it was crazy choice of build. Hyper greed out of Optimus. In the end, he was punished for it. In the end, he was punished so hard for said build. We saw that Ryung was able to overwhelm, was able to snowball out of control from there. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations here to Ryung. We'll claim the series, and we have one series left here in this group. We have one more match. Mana and Fiant about to be facing off. Again, when it comes to Optimus, I was hoping to get a little bit more out of Last Fantasy. Not gonna lie, like it's quite rare to see the mid game in Last Fantasy, just to see Last Fantasy period. But yeah, it was just cutting a bunch of corners. Go punish for it. GG. GG, well played. Yo, meanwhile, big shout to Best Fan guy in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gifted sub here to Professor Nuggle PhD. Thank you so much. To the Professor, thank you so much for the gifted sub. Do appreciate it. Thank you for the support. What does LE stand for? LE stands for liquid expansion. Take that how you will. That's what happens when Team Liquid, they pick up a new team member. That's when they picked up Cure. There you go. For now, though, we're going to be going on a very short break. I do apologize for having a break right after the previous one. Just very short. Just have to check on something. But otherwise, we'll soon be jumping into Fiant and Mana. See you soon. See you soon with the final series of Group A. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew, as we are jumping into our final best of 3 of Group A. Here we go. We are jumping into HomeStory Cup 27 and spawning in the left-hand corner of Persephone. We have our Swedish Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Team Rody. It is Fiant. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is Mana. go. And again, so far our matches today have been quite fast. Oh, they're going to continue to be fast, by the way. But we had some faster games, some shorter series. We have yet to really indulge and kind of sink our teeth into some of these matchups, and we'll see if we can do so here, as Fiant does move out with a hatch block. So the drone does move out across the map. The goal here is to block the expansion, is to delay the natural base of Mana for as long as possible, but Mana, he's already in position, and he will deny the block. At least he tries to. Ooh, the hatchery is not going to be thrown down. Second probe arrives just in time. The drone is going to be forced away, and with that, does go for the hatch block here at the natural, at least, at the wall, but he does fail to delay the expansion. Oh boy. So a better setup here from Mana. It is going to be a hatchery into a pool from the side of Fiant. Mana, he will scout, he will confirm. And behind this, ideally, yeah, Fiant, he does want to go for a gases opener, but no, the gas is going to be forced to be taken. Will expand elsewhere at the third location. Now remember, this is not for an all-in. This is designed to force a reaction. As you can see here, typically in a standard PvC, you go for a gateway into Nexus. Instead, because of the proxy hatchery, has to be gateway into a cybercore into a delayed Nexus. So with that, he is successfully delaying the base, but not for as long as he would have liked. He would have liked to have delayed this even further. Also, because of Mana's scout, he sees the base, he knows that he doesn't have to make a zealot. Otherwise, you're forcing out like an early zealot, you're forcing some inefficiencies out of Mana. Mana does call Fiant's bluff, does call it. And now opening up Stalker first. Sorry, Death first even. Ooh, the hatchery does complete. It's a bold move. This is a big investment here from Fiant. This is designed to buy time. This is designed to buy time and allow himself to get his own base up and running and allow himself to drone. Queen is on the way. Ideally, you want to spread creep. You want to spread creep backwards across the map. Oh, drone is on the way. Okay. Does go for the spine crawler. Link speed is in production. Does pull out of gas. I'll be honest, I'm still not entirely convinced that he wants to really commit to this, but the adepts cannot actually get within range of the spine. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna commit. With the second drone, we are committing here. Links are flooding across the map. We are not droning. I wanted to believe that we were going to be droning up behind this, but no. At this point, he is going for it. More spine crawlers are on the way. Now, the problem with what's happening here is that this is quite late. It's quite a delayed spine rush here from Fiant. Links are moving forward. Stargate is finishing, and all we need is a couple of Void Rays. Void Rays will be ideal here for Mana. Actually, opening a bold move. Doesn't go for the Oracle. The Oracle does finish faster. True. And the Oracle can have its way with these Zerglings. As Fiant is completely all in. Spreading out more creep. Knocks down the gateway. The wall is open. The Oracle does pop. You don't want to waste it. There's a Pulsar Beam going for the Queens. Yeah, Zlings get a full surround. The Oracle a little bit out of position. Ideally, you do want to use the Oracle on the Zerglings. Oracle goes down. Nice pickup. And nice snipe there as probes are falling. Ooh, this is becoming critical damage. And Fiant, has he done it? Takes down 12, 13 probes. GG gets called as Mana did miscontrol here at the natural. Again, as you mentioned, the Oracle is wasting DPS on the Queen when the Oracle had to save the Stalker instead from the Zerglings. And Fiant, he pops off. GG. GG, well played. Fiant does take game number 1. Again, Mana underreacting here, or I would argue just miscontrolling against the initial aggression against Fiant. Let's go. GG, well played. And again, initially I didn't think that Fiant was going to commit, but yo, once we saw the second drone popping out, it's like, oh, okay, we're just going to double down here. It also did feel like Mana wasn't taking it too seriously either. He wasn't giving it enough attention as we're going for the 12 pool. Oh, let's go, Bobby, let's go. As now it's time to 12. Yo, someone, Fiant, calm down. Spawning in the top right hand corner, we do have the Swedish Zerg player for Team Roddy leading the series 1-0. Going for the 12 pool, it is Fiant. Remember how I said that we've had some really fast games so far, really fast series, and I'm hoping to get a little bit more out of this? Well, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player, we have the Red Protoss representing Team Liquid. Down the series, we'll see if he can bounce back and survive the aggression of Fiant. It is Mana. And my eyes are on Fiant here because, I was gonna say, this could be a 12 pool drone pool. Drone moves out across the map, no hatchery back at home. 12 pools don't have to be all in. You can go for a 12 pool macro build. You can go for a 12 pool and expand and drone up after the first wave of lings. But here, this is more committed. This is more dedicated. Fiant is moving out with the drone, and my eyes are on his mineral line here. The probe does confirm the early pool, does confirm the lack of gases. Mana, he's aware that something is wrong. Drone moves in, and waiting for the Zerglings. We're waiting for the Zerglings here. Here comes the hatchery. Lings are moving out. And Fiant, he doesn't box his drones yet. Doesn't select, he's moving out. Okay, the drones are kept at home, Lings are fanning out across the map. We do see Mana fully wall up. Does fully wall off here with a Forge, that's what's important. A Forge response is really solid here against the 12 pool, against dedicated builds. The reasoning for this is because early on you have limited production, so we need cannons. Like, cannons, they excel quite well here in this kind of game state. Yep, there's a cancel. And Fiant expands. We have a game. And this is actually a lot more successful compared to last game. Ideally, Fiant was hoping for a reaction, and he got it. He got a very late expansion, 2 gates, Cybercore, Forge, and a cannon as well. And the Forge is going to go down. Oh, this can do more. Takes down the Forge, goes to the cannon. The cannon's under fire. Remember, there's no Zealot. Yeah, there's no Zealot. The cannon is going to fall. These things are getting out of hand. And remember, behind this Fiant, he's expanding, he's droning. He's droning up, the cannon falls. Now going for the pylon. Once again, Mana, he underreacts to this. Maybe he chose not to make the Zealot. Did choose to. Pylon goes down, going for the other. This could just be game. And Fiant is like, Fiant, he's not flooding Lings behind this. Like, he's been droning. Boys are being pulled. Gateway gets depowered. Adept is finally gonna pop out. I spoke too soon. Oh god. There we go. Adept does pop. And Mana, he will eventually defend here, but he will lose 3 probes, and there's still no natural base. It's such a delayed expansion. Yeah, late base, late expansion. Fiant behind this has been droning. Gases are being taken. Now, the one downside here is that Fiant has no gas, so he has no link speed. No link speed. But as long as he can keep up with the Adepts themselves, even with slow links and with queens, then he can be secure. So again, Mana, he was unable, I mean, he chose not to make a Zealot, if you recall. He was overconfident in his cannon. Again, Mana, he did once again underreact. I mean, it was the worst of both worlds, where he invested into the Forge, into the cannon, into the gateway, into the delayed base, but he didn't actually get the benefits of that. He was unable to minimize damage. So a really rough start here for Mana. A very delayed tech, a very delayed expansion. Mana, he needs to get damage done with these Adepts. If he fails to, he's gonna fall behind and stay behind. Oh. As the Adepts do threaten to dive. Glaives on the way. This makes sense. Mana's just turned this into an all-in. Like, again, Mana, he cannot macro out of this. He's too far behind. Mana has to do something drastic, and it's going to be Glaives. And we'll see if he can recover. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can do critical damage. Now, Mana's hope here is that Fiant skips his Roach Warren. Now, Fiant, he is still mining gas, so from here he can go into Banelings, Roaches, or into a lair. Fiant has options.
Our base is under attack.
Does scout across the map. Ooh, a Fiant heavily supplied. Look, 5 overlords on the way. Jesus. 5 overlords. Lings, they poke in. They don't really get to see much. They get a pylon. Getting almost a free pylon here. Pylon for 2 Zerglings. Ooh, they do slip in. That should not have happened. They go in for a free scouts. And it does cost him the Zerglings. Well, there we go. He confirms the Twilight counts. We see Roachhorn is on the way. Gases are being taken. Getting into a 3-gas setup. Ooh, and it's going to be Glaive Adepts with a Dark Shrine as well. Oh, he sees everything. He sees everything. He rescouts a natural. Once again, that should not have happened. The lair is on the way. That'll be for the Overseer for detection. Lings, they try to collapse in. That's still a little bit episode. With Glaives, Lings, they're getting just shut down completely. Yeah, Lings are melting. 16 more Lings on the way. Adepts they bust into the main. Damage is being done. The boys are forced to be pulled. 4 drones going down. Good start for Mana, but he needs more. He needs more than this. Shades into the natural, doesn't commit. Ooh, Lings, they come in for the surround, they force a recall. And they will not get an adept. Don't get a kill. Spores are being thrown down. Getting ready for the Dark Templar. Third base is spotted. There's a late third base for Mana. Very late expansion. And from here, Fiant can do one of 2 things. He could just back off and drone. He could just drone and take an economic lead. We can see nothing but roaches in production. Roaches are on the way. Lair is done, and we're pushing. Fiant, he's moving out across the map. Catching up both Dark Templar. Anti-commit. Catching out 1, 2 Adepts. And again, like the army here just can't really scale here towards the Roach Ravager of Fiant. Mana just doesn't have enough. Remember, he was all in earlier, the all in failed. Takes down the pylon, boys are being pulled, Mana getting desperate. And Fiant, he should at least kill the third. Like, there's no way to hold on to this, no shots. Third base should go down. And Mana cannot engage. And Fiant can now drone. Now he can just drone up freely, get up to 3-base economy, or just kim in. He can do what he wants. This is it. Whatever he wants at this point. Chases down the army. No Overseer here. Despite the yes or no Overseer. GT can pop off. But Lings, they just wreak havoc. Probes are going down. Army gets surrounded. Roaches, they bust into the main. Overseer's just now morphing in from back at home. Ay. They have a ways to go. But at this point, this is still critical damage. GG, well played gets called. And Fiant, he will claim the series 2-0. Take down Mana. GG. Very impressive. GG, well played. Fiant, he cheeses the hell out of Mana. And both in Game 1 and in Game 2, Mana, it feels like he underreacted to what Fiant was up to. Where in Game number 1, we saw that, again, Mana, he didn't really take the proxy hatchery seriously. Or, sorry, I should say, in Game 2. So yeah, in Game 1. Game 1 didn't take it seriously. He did underreact to it, or I should say he had a bit of miscontrol against the all-in that was coming his way. He had a couple of shield batteries, but the Oracle was kind of wasted, wasn't really using the most ideal way defensively. Here in Game 2, we saw that he did decide to skip his Zealot. He had so much faith in that first cannon, so much faith, but we saw that the Forge went down, that the cannon went down as well. Alas, he was punished for skipping out that Zealot, and we saw that Fiant overwhelmed. Fiant did overwhelm. GG, well played. With that, Fiant does claim the series, and with that, that will end our coverage of Group B. Oh boy. So chat, who else is a part of Liquid besides Cure, Mana, and Clem? Trigger, I think? Not Trigger. Trigger, he's on Basilisk, if you recall. Trigger is one of the Basilisk boys. For Team Liquid, it's Clem, Mana, Cure, and a Laser and Skillus. How could you forget that? A Laser and Skillus are also on Team Liquid. Trigger is on Basilisk. But here we go. With that, we're wrapping up our coverage of Group A, and we do have some Group B matches, and I feel like, yeah, we can go through it. We can go through it instead. We only have a handful of Group B matches. For Group B, we actually casted a lot more than usual, because some of the matches were a little bit faster, and there were some delays in certain aspects, so we actually casted a lot of matches in Group B. So we do have 3 series. We have 3 series here. Is going to be Spirit versus Mana. RC Esports. But Spirit versus Mana is going to be... Mana? Mixu, sorry. Spirit versus Mixu is going to be coming up next here on the channel. Likewise, we have... likewise, we have ShoWTimE versus Baby Marine and ShoWTimE versus Spirit. Oh boy. So 3 matches ahead of us here, and I want to say that there's a higher chance that we can actually have like a back and forth series here. Ideally, as I mentioned before, like I would say that all the matches we covered in Group A, I mean, they were all 2-0s, true, but also just really fast games, really fast matches, really fast series. I was hoping for a little bit more out of them, a little bit. But here we go. So just setting up the players. Setting up the matches. Group B. Beautiful. So with this, we're getting into our next series here. It's going to be a TVZ between Spirit and Mixu. We're going to be jumping into Group B of the HomeStory Cup 27, and Game 1 is going to be on ley lines. Let's go. You're lucky it's not in the exam. I mean, you didn't know either, Estelio. Ay, ay, ay. But here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Polish Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing ROC Esports. It is Spirit. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the red Zerg from Lem. It is Mixu. Let us go. Here we have the blue. It's just catching up. Just catching up, making sure we are secure. And again, we have 3 matches left. We have 3 series remaining. For our broadcast today. As I mentioned before, we did cover most of the matches in Group B at the time, live. We cast a lot of matches day 1. it was a long day of casting, long day. But we're settling in, and again, we've been having a lot of short series. We've had a lot of all-ins. I do expect this to go the distance a little bit further here, but I mean, in my mind, we might see Mixu just double down and commit a little bit harder. Spirit, he's known for his mid game, known for his late game. Like, he has some terrifying TVZ out there, recently excelling against players like a Laser, even having some strong showings against Rainer as well, especially in the late game if he can get there. We'll see how Mixu will adjust his approach though. In my mind, he's going to be more aggressive, but we'll see. Mixu is building up. Going for a hatch gas pull. Standard opener out of Mixu. Likewise, Spirit going for his own Rax expand as well. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. Here we go. Spirit so tedious to watch so relatively to other players. I wonder if anyone's excited over Spirit's Turtle Terran. Spirit, there are some games where he's like notorious for turtling up like that. If you've been watching Spirit over the past year, like that isn't really his approach anymore. I would love to highlight, and I do recommend checking out Spirit's series against a laser during the House Galactic battle. Like that was a banger. Like between I think it was a best of 7 or best of 9. I think it was best of 7 between Spirit and laser. And Spirit, he was spreading his wings. Like we saw Spirit opening up BC, going into mech, going for Hellbat all-ins, going for proxies. Like Spirit, he has it in him to be more active and to be more aggressive, and that's what I'm leaning towards. For now, is going for an economic opener, third CC before starport, but again, he doesn't have to just turtle up and be defensive. I feel like that's like, it's almost like Serral. Like if you remember Serral, for a long time, many years ago, he was known for only macroing and only playing standard, almost like the Spirit of Zerg, if you will. Spirit the player, not Spirit of Zerg. But in recent years, like when I say recent, over the past like 3-4 years, like Serral's been cheesing a lot more. He's been doing a lot more cheeses, a lot more aggression. He's been willing to mix it up more so than just playing standard. Similar, I would say, with Spirit as he takes down, oh my god, both tumors! Both tumors go down, does pull away. Nice pickoff here by Spirit. Nice pickoff. So here we go. So again, I feel like that's a reputation the Spirit earned mainly from years gone by, but I don't think it's as applicable in current modern era of StarCraft. Similar to like ShoWTimE being like Dimauer being like the defensive Protoss, whereas in recent years he's also been going for more all-ins. Like he's also been like spreading his like horizons and has been approaching the game in like a different way. Or how SOS is no longer nothing but cheese. Like SOS does often macro as well nowadays. In general, a lot of players have kind of been rounding out their play. Meanwhile, Hellions, they bust into the middle line. Oh, and Mixu, he has no drones. 0 drones to defend. Drones are going to get roasted. 5 workers going to be going down. This is already critical damage here from Spirit, and he can get more done, but he's going to be cleaned up. But bearing in mind, this is only off of 2 Hellions, and they get away. 7 drone kills, 2 more here towards the third base, and Mixu is just being torn apart. It's being torn apart. 9 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. Reaper storms in the bases. Hellions, they do meet up. They're getting quite low here, but remember, it's going to be Hellion Banshee as the follow-up. And remember, this is not an all-in, this is a standard build here by Spirit, but if he sees an opportunity, he goes for it. So he does see opportunity, he does see some weak points here in the defense. Lings, they move out for a counterattack, which means once again, there's nothing at home, there's only queens. And drones, they're going to get roasted once again. Does fully wall off the Eva chamber, thankfully, but Hellions, they dive into the main. And here in the main base, there's no wall. There is no wall. Drones are falling. 17, 18 worker kills. Ay, ay, ay. Zerg players, look away, papi. Look away. 21. And back at home, Lings, they get some damage. 10 SCVs, that's good. But in the face of 25 worker kills, it means nothing. It means nothing here. Banshees are still in the main. Sorry, Banshees. Hellions are still in the main. Banshees, they defend back at home. 26 drones. Thankfully, he doesn't get the last volley off, but still 26 workers in total here. And Mixu, he's oh no, he lets the Eva chamber finish as well. But Mixu, he's in a really rough place. He does fall behind, and we have to make a choice. Do we try to re-drone and resaturate against Spirit of all players, or do we turn this into an all-in? And I would say that an all-in would be ideal, but there's nothing to work with. There's no tech, there's no Baliness, there's no Roach Warren, there's an Eva chamber, I suppose. Gas is just now being taken. Mixu, he has a ways to go to recover. It's going to be a rough road to recovery here. Double Banshee moving in, thankfully there's detection. Banshees are deflected, they don't get any drone kills. So Mixu does minimize losses. 1, 2, oh god, I spoke too soon. Another 3 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. If the Eva chamber finishes, I probably just leave. We've all been there before, right? It's like accidentally letting the Eva chamber finish, or letting the gas geyser finish if you're like trying to keep a drone alive, or early on letting a spore finish when you're doing Reaper defense. Like it happens. It happens. Smurge, man, smurge. Speaking of being frazzled, two Bailey nests on the way, one behind the middle line, one in front. So again, clearly like Mixu, especially after all that early game damage, is a little bit off center. There. Oh, thank God. Does cancel. Throws down the Evo chamber. Trying to work towards 1-1. Trying to work towards Ling Bane. And Spirit, he should be moving out at around, or with his 7-minute push. Typically, we'd move out with +1, so we have 1-1 upgrades on the way. Stim is already done, combat shields on the way as well, but this is going to be a slightly earlier push, I believe, because Spirit knows he has momentum. Like, he knows he has momentum, he knows he has a lead. And he's going to hit with combat shields. And remember, there's no bailing speed, right? There's no upgrades. There's 0 upgrades here for Mixu. So Spirit, there's a reason why he feels confident pushing out here and now. And he will knock down the expansion, knock down the base. Mixu gonna try to hold on here. 1-1 upgrades are finishing up in the middle of this fight. And Spirit is reinforcing. Oh, ooh, does take it into the face. Okay, gonna be cleaned up. Tank gets surrounded. Marines as well. Very nice catching from Mixu. Very nice. But he's still lacking any kind of upgrades here. And again, Mixu, he should not be able to hold on. Like, there's just so much working against him. Getting 1, 2, 3 queens. Oh no. The final queen goes down. Now the Banshee's at free reign on the Ling Bane. A nice round. Takes care of some of those Marines. And Mixu, he will clean this up. He will clean this up. He will shut this down. Despite that, the Banshees are still wreaking havoc. They get another queen. Another queen goes down. And another. And Spirit's still rallying. He's still rallying across. GG gets called. Mixu is broken. And Spirit will take game number 1. GG. GG will play it again. A very opportunistic approach here from Spirit. Again, Spirit didn't do anything too crazy. He went for a standard build. He went for a standard opener. He went 3 CC before Starport into his 1-on-1 Hellion Banshee. But he saw opportunities, right? He saw a weak point here in the defenses of Mixu. Mixu was being greedy. Mixu, he was cutting link production. And in doing so, Hellions, they popped off. They just wreaked havoc. They roasted every single mineral line. 26 drone kills. That was insane damage early on. And Mixu could not sustain those losses. GG. GG will play with that. We're going to be following Spirit into our next game. Into game number 2. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can recover. It is Mixu. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the Polish Terran player. We have the red Terran representing RSC Esports. It is Spirit. Here we go. Yes, as we mentioned before, like Spirit, like this, like more totally defensive style out of Spirit is something. It's a reputation that he like earned many years ago. But by no means is that like the only way he plays, especially in like modern StarCraft, in modern era. Does often mix things up, is often more active or more aggressive. If he sees an opportunity to do so, he'll go for it, just like last game. Meanwhile, from the side of Mixu, I mean, I don't blame him for cutting corners. Spirit, he is one of the best Terrans in all of Europe. So cutting corners is what you do want to do against Spirits, but getting away with it, that's the hard part. He's getting away with cutting those corners. That's from here we're setting up. Again, racks expand. Standard opener here out of Spirits. And meanwhile, we just see Mixu hatch gas pool as well. So far, so good. going to be settling in. Really, my eyes are going to be on Mixu here to see if he does try to tech in any early direction. I mean, we're loading into Tokamak. Welcome. True. Welcome one and all. Tokamak is one of the more macro maps in the map pool. Longer rush distance by ground. More defendable as well on 3 and 4 bases. So if there was to be a map that did lead us into the mid game and even into a longer game, this would be it. Would be Tokamak. Now Reaper does take down the Zergling. Getting ready for the add-on swap into Hellion production, and we're expecting, yep, third CC before Starport. This is the same build that we saw last game. So same build, same opener. And this time, Mixu, he should not be skipping Zerglings. We should be building up like a decent amount here to defend, to keep up. And again, rotating between these bases is easier on Tokamak. As we have the Tech Lab on the way on the racks, going for the add-on swap, going into Banshee play. Is swapping over, is going into Banshee play. Behind this, we do see that Mixu has just been droning up for the time being. He's been droning quite heavily. There are links to scouts. When he sees a move out, that should trigger him to actually make some Zerglings. There we go, we have a pair of links on the way. Overlord does confirm the build, does confirm Cloak. And Spirit's moving out. Now, once again, Mixu, he's staying on a very low drone count. Now, I will say, on this map, it is easier for queens to rotate, so you can get away with... Sorry, I say low drone count. I meant to say low link count, so I did misspeak. But you can get away with a low link count with all these queens, just because it's easier to rotate. It is still risky, don't get me wrong. Still very risky. It's very greedy, maybe a better way of putting it. And so far, Mixu is keeping up. Oh, hello. Now, as again, just to reiterate what we said at the start of this series, how Spirit is willing to be more cheeky and more aggressive at times. Likewise, similar to ShoWTimE, similar to Serral, where they kind of earn this like macro reputation like many years ago. Hellbat push. We're going for a 2-on-1 Hellbat push here from a Spirit, hyper aggressive out of our Terran player. And this is going to hit like a truck, especially because, remember, Mixu has been cutting corners. Mixu has not been making Zerglings. And the queens are exposed. Gets one. Hellbat's a morph in. And this is going to be a tough hold here for Mixu. Aye. No transfuse. He has no energy. Banelings are morphing in. They're going to be denied here by the Banshee. Hellbat's ahead into the mineral line. Gets another queen. Oh no, the drones! Get out of here! The Hellbats are waddling in. Oh my god. Drones, thankfully, they do get away, and Mixu holds. Ooh, Mixu does hold on. Behind this, we have a 4-rack setup, getting into a 5-1-1. Does pull away. Again, with that, Mixu is holding on. Did cost him 2 queens. It cost him a couple of workers. Could have been so much worse. The Hellbats did not get into the mineral line. They almost did. They almost roasted up those drones, and Mixu survives. Now remember, for this, from this, Stim is finishing up. He's getting into his own 5 Raxes. He still maintains his Hellions. Typically, after a failed Hellbat push, you lose all your Hellions, you lose all your Hellbats, and you are unable to keep up the creep, but Spirit does maintain his Hellion count. Does keep it alive. Spirit does pull away. And the next big timing here is going to hit with 1-1. Like, the 1-1 timing here is going to hit quite hard. This time, Mixu will have Baneling Speed. So Baneling Speed is finishing up. He's working towards 1-1 upgrades. Saturating his own 4th base and getting a 5th. Mixu is stabilizing. Stabilizing quite nicely. And he can soon focus on purely Ling Bane Hydra. So we have a game. We have a game on our hands. I believe Mixu, he should have enough to defend and survive the move out of Spirit. To the point where Spirit, he might just not go for it. Yeah, we just see the gas on the way. Second factory. This tells us we should soon be seeing a 4th CC. Like Spirit, he's getting into a longer game. And again, as we mentioned, like Tokamak is known for these longer game states as well. So if we were to embrace the late game here in TVZ, there's a higher chance of that happening on this map. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. Now, I'm a little bit surprised Spirit, he's pushing. He's moving out before expanding. He's spotted. Maidens, they crash in, but oh, they crash into Hellbats. Better trade for Spirit, and Spirit, he just commits. He got no other queens! And gets 1, 2. 2 queens go down. Brutal pickups. Mitsuki's in danger. Oh god, his lings are trickling in, and this is getting out of hand. He's down to 9 bailings, soon to be 19. Bailings once again rolling in. Nice tank firing. Oh, bailings are coming from behind. Nice around, and with that, Mixu holds. He does hold on. He does defend. As we mentioned, once Mixu got up to 80 drones, he can survive these pushes, and he will. Behind the Spirit now he starts at 416. Remember, this is a late 4th base. We were surprised to see that he pushed out without it. So late expansion out of Spirit. Mixu is holding on. But the creep is receding. And Spirit, he doesn't stop. He does not back off, doesn't retreat. He keeps on pushing. Keeps on rallying in. And I started firing on the Bailings, none of Zerglings. Mixu comes from behind once again. The surround does clean up, does force a pickup. So Mixu, for the second time, he shuts down the army. He's punishing Spirit, and the more the Spirit throws away, the harder he's gonna have to turtle up. Just because he's bleeding out so much supply and losing so much momentum. Mixu now gonna be getting into his own Hive tech. Infestation bits on the way, in towards Hive. Spirit going for the split push, shaving off more Zerglings. No critical damage, but he is gaining a little bit more momentum once again. Trading well. He takes his 4th base, it's getting fully operational. Bailings, they do not connect. Yeah, they crash into oh god, they crash into tanks. Spirit just trading as efficiently as possible. Fury picks up, pulls away, at the same time pushes in on the right hand side. Again, just looking to pull Mixu apart. Is heavily overstimped. Once again picks up 5 drone kills. The drop play continues. Drop on the left, drop on the right. Mixu, he is treading water here. I say treading water just because he's still bleeding out drones, and these are still more efficient trades here from Spirit. He's being much more efficient. But Mixu is holding on. And the Hive is almost done. The Hive is almost done. With the Hive comes Viper tech. With Vipers, Power Bombs. Parasite Bombs, a better way to deal with these medevacs, to deal with the drops. You can abduct it as well. As Mixu does find 2 free tanks, not bad. Gets 1, gets 2. Ooh, the rest of the tanks are on siege. Spirit out of position. Losing even more tanks. Barely does save 2 of them. And from here, Mixu is snowballing out of control. Takes out the tank line, keeps on pushing. Spirit getting caught with his pants down. Losing 3 more tanks. And he'll lose a mineral line as well. And make sure he has done a 21 SCV kills across the map. The drop does cause some damage, but this is critical. 24 SCVs takes down, how much was it, 7 tanks? Yeah, 7. Jesus. 7 tanks went down. Denies a CC, 24 SCV kills as well. Ooh, we do see that Spirit, he does kill an expansion, but the drone survived. And there's a backup base. There's a backup expansion. So Mixu is just transferring back over. Taking up into lurkers. Spirit moving out with another drop. Mixu moving in. Containing Spirit on 3 bases. Lurkers have arrived. Still no Viper tech, which is my big concern, just because Lurkers don't really help too much with this. Like, this is where Spirit can recover in this game, is with drop play. So because they move in, Ghost getting in position. So he does react with 1, 2 tanks going to be going down. Once again, just shutting down that tank count. 3-3's under fire. Spirit dropping to the left. There's a scan. Here come the snipes. Gets 1. And 1, 2, 3 lurkers going to be falling. Oh, makes sure he will lose everything here. At the same time, he will also lose the expansion. Oh, losing another base. Down to 4. Down to 4 bases. Brutal target firing there at a Spirit. Does focus down 10 lurkers. And makes sure he'll lose a little bit too much here. That was every lurker? Yeah, that was every lurker going down. So the hive, I mean, that's what he was building up to. Does quick, does pull away. Tanks getting caught out for, I want to say, like the 3rd or 4th time this game. Spirit, he's lost so many tanks. 17 tanks have gone down this game. That's crazy. He lost so many tanks. But GG gets called. He still breaks through. 14 drone kills. Again, Mixu, he has no bases, he has no economy, he has no army, he lost every lurker, and Spirit, he will break him. He will break him. GG, well played. Spirit will claim the series 2-0. GG, well played. A very intense back and forth. Again, Mixu, he had some really nice catches. He had some really nice trades, really nice fights, catching out so many tanks and even punching the economy. But Spirit, he was still on 3 bases. He had a fresh 3rd base as well. He was muling, he was able to maintain himself, and the drop play was just tearing Mixu apart. He lost his 4th base, and he lost his 5th base, and he lost every single lurker as well. Like, it was brutal damage there for Mixu. Spirit was just out trading. He was just being more efficient with his army. GG. GG, well played. With that, Spirit will claim it 2-0. But an impressive showing there by Mixu. Impressive nonetheless. As that leads us into our next matchup here in Group B. Up next is going to be a PvT between ShoWTimE and Baby Marine. Let's go. Let us go. Game 1 is going to be on Ley Lines. As again, we're featuring other players in this group, in Group B. And spawning. Oh, speaking of, I just realized I should change the in-game text file. Yeah, okay. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the red Protoss player. We have the German Protoss representing Sentinels. It is a ShoWTimE. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Italian Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Streamer Zone. It is Baby Marine. Go. As our PvT is upon us. We are calming down. Now stepping into this here, ShoWTimE, he does have his own unique approach here to this matchup. At times, he has been known to rely a little bit more on Colossus, more so than Storm coming into the mid game. But I'll be honest, I haven't seen too much of ShoWTimE's PvT this patch. So I'm excited to see a little bit more of what he has to offer, whether he embraces a more Storm-heavy style, whether he does like to mix things up, going into Stargate-based openers instead. Show us what you got. Or if you play Standard. Meanwhile, Baby Marine likewise going for an economic opener. Okay, going for a Rax expand. Again, double gas openers and 2 base all-ins in this matchup have fallen off. If you've been watching StarCraft over the past couple of months, even actually for the past, I would say 7 months from the beginning of the year, PvT has been in flux. We've been seeing a lot of shifts in the meta in PvT in this matchup. A lot of shifts. Initially with Protoss players being more greedy and going for 2 gate openers into fast blink, into a fast third base, into blink, into map control and overwhelming the Terran player and just containing them on 3 bases. That then changed the meta into Terran players going for a very 2 base all-in heavy style and a lot of 2 base all-in play, and that did force Protoss players to be safer and stop going for 2 gate openers into now 3 gate openers, robo, and staying on 2 bases that much longer. And we even saw an uptick in storm-based play as well. That did force Terran players to tech up faster into Ghosts. And now we've gotten to a point where now we're seeing less double gas openers in this matchup, and now we're seeing just safer play all around. Just everyone's scared. In PvT. So again, the meta has shifted quite a lot over the past 7 months. Like back and forth and back again. To the point where, as I mentioned, it's a lot more common nowadays to see Protoss players stay on 2 bases a little bit longer. I say that we do see a scout at a ShoWTimE. He did see the earlier CC timing. Despite that, 3 gates. So 3 gate opener at a ShoWTimE. I was going to say that because Baby Marine did open up with a faster CC, there is less of a chance that he's going to be aggressive, and a Protoss player can get away with a faster third base. But ShoWTimE playing safe. Does play safe. Gets up to 3 gateways, then into blink, then into a delayed third. Or a later third base, is what I should say. We can see ShoWTimE scouting for a proxy starport, making sure there's no Hellion drop. We can see it's going to be a mine drop in towards the bases. And the hallucination does confirm. Mine drop does move out. ShoWTimE looking to intercept, as he will barely not be able to. Remember, blink is not done, and the medevac should make it through. There's the boost. Ooh, meanwhile ShoWTimE throwing down a proxy 4th gateway, so 4 gate blink, but he does have a third. Does have a third base, so this is not the most aggressive build here from ShoWTimE, but he can warp in across the map. He can be aggressive, he can be active. So we can see Baby Marine rotating over towards the natural. Winter Mines are burrowing. The pros are lining up. Mine shots are avoided. Ooh, nice split set from Show. Very nice split set of ShoWTimE. Very nice last second defense. We'll lose 1 Stalker. Ooh, but we'll take down the medevac. Ay, that should not have happened. Medevac goes down. The gateway is done, and ShoWTimE, he blinks into the main. He can one-shot SCVs. Yeah, 4 Stalkers, they one-shot workers. 3 SCVs gonna be going down. Ooh, tank does get its volleys off. ShoWTimE force back. Is going to be a vanilla Banshee, but is also scouted. And ShoWTimE should bounce. Should pounce. Boom, even focusing on the Banshee. ShoWTimE, he gains map control. Baby Marine, he's stuck on 2 bases. Third CC's on the way. And from here, ShoWTimE can freely tech. Can take up. Oh god. If he had high ground vision, he could dive on that tank. His main base is that much more exposed. There was an opportunity, but does miss it. Just poking in. Does poke in. Gateway explosions on the way here from ShoWTimE. So blink into charge into Colossus. Ah, there you go. As we mentioned at the start of the series, or at the start of this game, ShoWTimE has been known to embrace Colossus play a little bit more so than Storm-based play at times. We're seeing that here. He does go for his drop. Throwing down 2 more Raxes, but remember he does have a 3rd CC, so he should be expanding. Should be looking to slowly break out. This Marine, he does, I believe, spot the pylon. Yeah, he does see the pylon. Does thread the needle. Army breaks out. ShoWTimE getting ready at his 3rd. Not ready in the main. Does barely miss this drop. And as Marine distracts, gets into the middle line. But there's a cannon! Oh, yeah, a cannon and a shield battery. Medevac goes down. We'll bleed out a couple of probes. But ShoWTimE will hold. ShoWTimE, he will defend. Likewise, Marine going to be forced back. ShoWTimE securing himself. And we'll see if he can break this 3rd. The bunkers aren't yet ready and only 2 tanks are sieged. But ShoWTimE doesn't know. He does see some of the setup. Tempting. Waiting for his Colossus. There's plenty of reinforcements though. It's gonna be tough to break this. ShoWTimE doesn't need to either. Remember, he's getting a 4th. Doesn't need to move in. Wintermines are set. ShoWTimE getting a 2nd forge. +2 is halfway done. And ideally, ShoWTimE, he catches the army as he moves out. And he sees everything, right? He sees everything. Again, he should not push into this. ShoWTimE backs off. And the game continues. Okay. Whew, we can take a breath. We can take a moment. ShoWTimE pulling away. Oh, does spot the Observer. Nice catch. Observer goes down. Here comes the Mastodon Siege, is getting a 4th CC. Marine taking a slower approach here, but as he expands, he's spreading himself thin. He's spreading himself more and more thin. ShoWTimE, he has to make a choice here. He does see the defensive setup. I would say that in between the natural and the 3rd this is a little more exposed, a little more open. He's going for it. Yeah, tanks are out of position. Nice mine shot, so. Nice mine shots on the Zealots. Connections are solid. Does wedge himself in. Tanks are stuck at the 3rd. And ShoWTimE can make his way into the natural, but doesn't quite make his way through. Baby Marine, he responds in time. ShoWTimE pulls away. Both players are maxing out. The Viking count is still quite low though. It's a big concern. A low amount of Vikings. That's a lot of Zealots. ShoWTimE, he backs off, he rotates. Baby Marine is keeping up with the rotations. Oh my god. Brutal mine connection. And ShoWTimE's in a rough place here. He needs to trade. He's starting up disruptors. There we go. Second Robo's on the way. ShoWTimE is refining his army. But overall, Baby Marine in a better position. From here, should be working towards Ghosts. Drilling Claws on the way. He's heavily turtled up. We have sensor towers, we have window mines, we have tanks. Gets one of the Vikings. I think a lot of this tech is late. Whether it's the expansions, and we can see ShoWTimE double expanding. It does double expand. The tech as well, the second Robo. And towards Skytoss. None of it's ready. Nice snipe with the Prism. Prism goes down. A second starport's on the way. Baby Marine, he does not have a fusion core, so he's lacking any setup for Liberators. I spoke too soon. Fusion core is now on the way. Ideally, Baby Marine, he wants to bait ShoWTimE to push in. So we get spotted. ShoWTimE rotates. ShoWTimE moving in. ShoWTimE is mass expanding. Now, my big concern here, yes, ShoWTimE, he's taking bases, he's building up a bank, but he's not really spending his army. Ideally, with this bank, you want to use it. You want to be trading with your zealots, reinforce, keep going, keep trading. That just hasn't been happening. It's some rough losses here for ShoWTimE. Efficient trades here from Baby Marine. Very efficient. Out of position though, at least somewhat. A bit of an awkward angle here for Baby Marine pushing up into the army. Yeah, Baby Marine out of position. The base is exposed. ShoWTimE moving in, going for the planetary. It took a while here, but Baby Marine had a hard time keeping up. Does come in from behind though. Gets one Colossus. Yeah, gets one, takes down the Disruptor, and really, he got baited in. We spoke about it, but Baby Marine, he wanted to bait ShoWTimE into a fight. It's a better fight for Baby Marine. ShoWTimE trying to push forward once again. Baby Marine, nope. So rotate back over. Planetary goes down. Oh. He connects. Nice EMP. Oh, Disruptor goes down. Nova's not connecting. And now we see the Stargate. Now we see the Storm. This is like, what, 3 minutes too late? ShoWTimE, he is teching, but we spoke about how he wasn't really able to make use of his bank. Oh, hello. Okay, that's it. Now he's making use of it. Double Prism. Dives into the main, does unload. One Prism goes down, the other does survive. And he can go for the warp in. ShoWTimE is maxed. He has to trade. Leading out some zealots. He can go for another warp in. Doesn't quite go for it. Fusion core goes down. Nuke across the map. ShoWTimE will notice. Pulls away. This Prism does fall. It goes off. Meanwhile, DT, oh my god, the Dark Templar, they're wreaking havoc. 15 probe kills, 15 SCVs even. SCVs are going down. Dark Templar, they don't quite get away. That's still nice damage though. The first real piece of damage that ShoWTimE has dealt this entire game. But last Babe Marine, he has a bank. You could argue that he has a bigger bank than ShoWTimE. I would agree. Like, ShoWTimE's bank is lackluster. He's been late to pull into gas. You can see he just pulled into gas here at his 5th base, and at his 4th base, he's missing a gas geyser as well. So gas income is very limited here for ShoWTimE, and that's why he's broke. He has minerals, that's all he has. He has no gas. Fleet Beans on the way, second Stargate's on the way. Again, it's been a rocky road here from ShoWTimE, but he's getting there though. In regards to Skytoss, it's on the way. I'll still say that he's getting there quite late. It's allowing Babe Marine to gain more control, to build up a larger bank. His tank shots do punish. More liberation has arrived. Just really patient play here from Babe Marine, just slowly switching and transitioning into all these liberators. Get a recall. Storm is done. ShoWTimE is trying to punish that high ground expansion. Tempest would be ideal in this position. ShoWTimE can't actually make Tempest. He has to throw away some supply. Nuke top left. ShoWTimE, he does find the nuke. Does pull away. You're moving in. Babe Marine is a bit overstimmed. We'll say that at least. Still holding the line. ShoWTimE triple expanding. Getting 3 bases. He's built up his gas tank. True. Has built it up. Here, Babe Marine, he does deny the base. He's moving in. It's again a bit of a slower approach here, but he's safe to like slowly push forward to gain more ground, shuts down the site defense. Oh, takes down the disruptor. Tempest have finally arrived. It took so long to get there. ShoWTimE does notice. Does notice the nuke. Nuke goes off, no major connection. Liberators are gaining ground, and again, typically against this mass liberator style, how would you deal with it? With mass Tempest? But there's only 3 Tempests, and there's 0/0 Tempest as well. So the army is underway, and with that, an expansion goes down. And Babe Marine, he can either keep pushing forward and go for another base, or pull back and get these 2 bases towards the top side instead. Nice Zealot run by. Zealot counterattack takes down the Planetary. Planetary goes down. 3 tanks as well. More Babe Marine pushing forward. Oh, the Viking count is too low. Only 3 Vikings. Babe Marine is cornering himself here. Where are the Vikings? Stims in. Takes down all the site defense. Forced to pick up. And we'll get out. Barely pulls away. Zealous is just catching on more reinforcements. They deny +3 ship weapons. Nice pickoff. ShoWTimE pushing in. Does move in. Again, we're still trying to build up more Vikings. And ShoWTimE, he may have just done it here. Earlier, I was concerned when he had 3 Tempests, now he has 7. Now he has 7 Tempests. He's breaking out. There just was not enough anti-air there, not enough Vikings for Baby Marine. A way to try to alleviate some pressure here would be to nuke. We've seen Clem go into, I want to say, like up to 4, if not 5 Ghost Academies, going mass nuke in this position. And nukes are designed just zoned away. But Baby Marine stims in. Nice EMP. Gets 1 Tempest. He's built up his Vikings. Let's go. Can he catch this army at the same time as they'll run by? 14 SCV kills. So let's say catch more reinforcements. Nice positioning here from Baby Marine. Does pull away. Oof, more Raiders getting caught out. Does get caught. Still trying to go for these nukes. Oh, this time no reaction. It does pull away, but a little bit late. And probes, they are caught out. 9 probes going to be falling. Nice nuke here from Baby Marine. Gets half a mineral line. Does get half. Knocks down another expansion. Trading a base for a base. Getting 2 bases. Okay. And from here, we could just go for a base trade. As planetaries are falling, Baby Marine got to make a choice. Does we come back home? He does. Okay, does make that choice. He's turning back around. The anti-air is quite limited. These Tempests are looking very exposed. It's 14 Vikings. And Master Repair barely keeps the planetary alive. Stalker's getting caught out. Barely any anti-air. Vikings moving in. They just have to avoid the storms. Have to avoid those storms. Storm does pop up. Storm once again zoning away. I'm most impressed that ShoWTimE has actually kept these bases alive. Like they survived and he's able to get all these cannons up and running. We do see Baby Marine rotating towards the south side, but the reality is that these bases don't really matter as much. You can see here that they're almost mined out. The bases, they're almost mined out, even bottom right as well. So ShoWTimE, you can afford to lose them. They're not really too important. As bottom right is going to go down. At the same time, ShoWTimE taking down the center expansion. This base means that much more for Baby Marine. He has to respond. Does Master Repair. 20 probe kills. Oh god. Storm's not quite connecting. Raising the army. And Baby Marine, he's burned through his bank. At this point, he's burned through his bank. Again, I feel like earlier when Baby Marine, when he was taking down these center expansions, I thought it was almost certain that he was going to take down the northern bases as well, but he never did. Never got them. And with that ShoWTimE, he should be able to claim this. Does go into the fight. They'll say crash in. And they pick away at so many Marines, so many Marauders as well. Losses the Baby Marine he can't afford. He cannot replace. Oh god, another storm pops off. And GG gets called. GG gets called. ShoWTimE overwhelms, and ShoWTimE takes game number 1. GG. Ooh, GG, well played. Very impressive play there by Baby Marine to be able to keep up with the early rotations, to be able to keep up with ShoWTimE for the most part of that game. He was doing quite well for himself, I want to say, and ShoWTimE, I want to, as we were mentioning at the time, he was having a really hard time transitioning out and taking up into the late game. I will say that he was late to do so, which did give Baby Marine more freedom and more time to be active and be aggressive, but unfortunately he was not able to deny the most important mining bases, so ShoWTimE able to maintain himself just barely with his gas, of course, and had plenty of minerals, and with that, GG well played. ShoWTimE, he does overwhelm, does outtrade, does claim the game. And now we're getting to game number 2. What outranges the Tempest? It's not about outranging the Tempest. Ideally, you want to be able to close that distance and collapse on the Tempest. That's why you want to go into Mass Viking. Likewise, as we were trying to emphasize as well, we did mention this, but I guess we didn't really emphasize it too much, is that Clem has been finding a lot more success by going for a more ghost and a more nuke heavy style. I'm referring to getting like 4, 5, 6 academies up and running to have just a plethora of nukes available, and with said nukes, it's not about really connecting with the army or connecting with the mineral lines. It's about zoning, and it's about denying bases, which is something that again Clem was able to use to great success as of late. It's a bit of a newer style that we saw out of Clem, and has been looking really good, really solid, really impressive. Unfortunately, Baby Marine, he wasn't quite able to replicate that, so now we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of torches, we have the Italian Terran player. We have the red Terran moving out with the SCV. Does move out for Streamer Zone. It is Baby Marine. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the German Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Sentinels. It is ShoWTimE. As he's going to be forced into the unnatural natural. And how the hell did we end up on torches, by the way? The second most viewed map in the map pool, very rarely seen, but we get to experience it here and now in this best of 3. Okay, bold move. Now, torches is known for all-ins, is known for favoring aggressive builds and aggressive play. Already we can see ShoWTimE is forced to take the unnatural natural thanks to the eBay block, and this does give Baby Marine the option to be aggressive, the option to try to punish ShoWTimE for being split between his third and his main base. Again, this area in between is so abusable, trying to pull your opponents apart. We'll see if he goes for the reactor. So far, Marine first. Oh, no Reaper. Interesting. This feels like, okay, so it's going to go Marine first into the reactor, into most likely add-on swap into Reactor Hellion. That would make the most sense. Meanwhile, a big shout to San Slimo in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Or San Slimo. Slimo? Gracias. Thank you so much for subscribing for the first time. Thank you. Thank you. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy the casting here on the channel. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. As there's a cancellation on the eBay, and we're waiting for said add-on swap. There we go. And again, the purpose of this Reactor Hellion is to try to abuse the fact that ShoWTimE is split between bases, right? This is just a really awkward position for ShoWTimE, just caught between his third and his own main as well. Going for the proxy starport. Bold move out of Baby Marine. Barely not scouted, barely not seen. Aye. So he's being even more aggressive here. Now, this Adept Scout is going to be so crucial when it comes to confirming what exactly is going on. Does see the first Hellion and does see the reactor. He knows. So he's aware of the reactor Hellion. He goes further in. He will confirm as well with the hallucination. No starport. Does spot the command center, of course. But not fully aware of what's going on. He does have a sentry on the high ground. This is for a force field. So sentry to defend the main, and we have the rest of the army here at the natural. Oh boy. And again, that is dangerous. ShoWTimE, he does scout. Okay, he does scout, does confirm. He's aware of the proxy. And I do like this. So Baby Marine, he's setting up for a jump towards the main, but instead he rallies towards the left-hand side instead. Towards the third. Yeah, ShoWTimE out of position. 3 Hellions, they one-shot workers. Oh no! They one-shot, and they will. 4 probes going down. 4 so far. Get up to 5. Hellions pull away. Drop is deflected. ShoWTimE will hold, but still at a cost. Behind this, going for the add-on swap, going into early tank production. Getting to his own 1-1-1. Remember, he did expand behind this. He went for the CC first, before Starport. It's building up. Going for a delay drop into the main. Won't get much done. ShoWTimE is ready. ShoWTimE is in position. We just see Baymarine moving out. He does actually pull a couple of boys. A couple of boys are being pulled. Hallucination should be where the army is missing. It's getting ready. Blink is done. We have, ooh, interesting. We have Temple Archives on the way for Storm. Baymarine, he does move out. He's ready for a split push. Aliens are dealt with. Trying to wedge himself in between the bases. Trying to. Now it's up to 2 tanks, rotates towards the 3rd. ShoWTimE out of position. Blink is done. Oh, not quite able to dive in. Does go for the blink. He gets one, he gets both. He's going to get both tanks, does pull the boys. Oh, the tank boys are brutal here, and the Marines, they trade well against the workers. They get every single probe. Oh god, they're forced to fight. 16 probe kills, insane damage. 18, 20 probe kills. And ShoWTime's economy is crippled. No economy here at the natural, nothing at the 3rd either. Tank does siege, and Baymarine is just pulling ShoWTimE apart. And you can just see how abusable specifically this center area is. This area in between both bases. Liberate into the main. Denying mining. Just 0 economy. 0 mining here out of ShoWTimE or barely anything. Not pulling back, getting a 3rd CC. I do think that he can just keep pushing, but I mean, there's no wrong answer here. Either you get ahead and you get further ahead by expanding, or you get ahead and then you try to kill your opponent with your lead. But now Baymarine, he does make it back home. Does preserve his army. Baymarine, he does take his 3rd. Does claim his 3rd base. Now he's breaking out. Again, now he's got his upgrades. He was just waiting here for them to kick in. +1 is on the way. He's got Stim, combat shields. Now he has more support for his tanks. And because of all the early game damage here, ShoWTimE, like, there's not really much. There's not much here. Oh god, snipe side Templar. Nice snipe here from Baymarine. And there's 4 Templar left. Okay, there's still some Storms. True. If Storms connect, ShoWTimE can hold. 100%. Even though he's down in supply, even though he's down in momentum, down in economy, down in army, With a couple of well-placed storms, he can take a fight. So Baby Marine, he has to respect it. That's a lot of storm. Tanks to siege, they're stacked. Oh god, the storms are brutal. Yeah, Baby Marine, he will take the storms to the... Oh god, he goes through the storms. Does run through them. And run back into them as well. Some solid storms out of ShoWTimE. Likewise, he gets across the map. Gets into the mineral line. And Baby Marine, he races everything back home. Again, just a really rough fight for Baby Marine. He does preserve the mineral line, thankfully. Geez, so many of these workers are low. 4 SCVs go down. And the game continues. The game does continue here. Ghosts are building up. Now, Baby Marine still has a lead. He still does have it. We'll see if he can keep it going, though. On this map, you can also rush into the gold. True, you can rush into the gold base. You can try to get a boosted economy with said gold as well. This goes both ways. Baby Marine takes his gases. He's pushing once again. This time he has ghosts, this time he has EMPs. So he has a little bit more complexity to the army. As he moves out, Zalrombai does spot the ghost. Is aware. Even potentially killing a ghost as well. Oh my god. Oh, doesn't quite get it. Ghost does get away. ShoWTimE's in position. Here come the storms. There's 3 High Templar in the prism. Still gonna move in. Does not land the EMP. Trying to zone in with his High Templar. Trying to. More storms coming in. Oh! Gonna be forcing out the storms. Yeah, nice setup there from Baby Marine. So he baits out the storms early. But there's still plenty more that came from. Both armies are maxing out. 4 CC on the way for the Terran. Oh, very nice catch. It does catch out the prism. High Templar, the AMPs are moving in. Does connect with most of the High Templar. Yeah, there's no storm. Okay, we do have the NG overcharge. There's 1 storm, soon to be 2. Those EMPs were brutal. ShoWTimE trying to engage at the same time, running into reinforcements. Zalrombai does nothing. Zalse rush into mine shots. But they will clean up the minefields. They clean up the tank as well. Baby Marine, he's now moving out. He can now reinforce. And again, Baby Marine, he's had the better economy for the majority of this game. If you recall, ShoWTimE, he lost, what was it, 20? 25 pros throughout the course of the early game. So he's been trying to play catch-up the entire time. We have seen Baby Marine take some rough fights, and that has helped ShoWTimE somewhat recover, but not completely. He's still on the road to recovery. First they pull away. Scan reveals the High Templar. EMP goes off. Nice connection. There's still a couple of storms left. Baby Marine, he's maxed out. Oh! Does take a storm to the face. As he did claim the gold. Let's go. So even though Baby Marine is losing some SCVs here, it's fine. Like, he has a gold base, so that makes up for it. As it is getting back up and running. Storms, they do pop off. Some decent catches here, but the storm's not quite connecting. And again, you can see just how much more assertive you can be on torches as the aggressing player. You're expanding towards your opponent, you're taking the gold base. You can push in and threaten the natural. Again, ShoWTimE just having a hard time keeping up. He's got 8 High Templar. No Liberators yet out of Baby Marine. It's still a Bio Ghost army with a couple of Vikings. Will deny the expansion. And again, how can ShoWTimE expand? There's the low ground base, base on left, base on the right. Can't quite take a Nexus. Oh, dragging the army into the minefield. Oh god. Mine shots are brutal. Templar goes down. The Widow Mines survive, more importantly. Survive. Oh, and ShoWTimE, he abandons his bases. Top left is going to go down. Oh. Actually trying to bait the army in. Instead, Baby Marine does go for the mineral line. The armies do collapse. To engage. 12 road kills. Decent damage. Gets 12 workers. Minefield is still active. And as he rotates again, this base should not get up. No shot. Storm comes in. Storm does zone. Takes down one of the ghosts. Another storm here on the Vikings. Very nice storm. Vikings taking a lot of damage. Oh god, he blinks into the mine. Oh no, he blinks in. Yeah, the mines they just punished. Brutal mine connections. So many Widow Mines. And Babe Marine is still maxed. He's still maxed out. Ay, ay, ay. So Widow Mines are about to reset. How many mines do we have? 15. 15 Widow Mines. Crazy. Observers made it. Once again, just dragging the army into minefields, into all those Widow Mines. As we get more connections, more value. And ShoWTimE, he does take that center base. Crucial that he has. And crucially, he holds on to it. He has to hold on, has to maintain, doesn't mind mining at the gold. Oh, as SCVs, they come back too soon. Yeah, brutal connections. Nice storm of the SCVs. All the workers go down. Baby Marine trying to respond. Storms just keep on zoning, but still just brutal trades for ShoWTimE. The army's not quite in position. This base should go down. You know, we just spoke about how difficult it is to get a 5th base on torches, and it just should not happen. I say that doesn't stick around. The base is getting very low, but does barely hold on. Likewise, Babe Marine, this entire time he hasn't been taking. This is also why, like, he's kind of brute forcing the issue here. It's not the most efficient army. He has not been taking up into Liberators. Now we have advanced ballistics on the way, but this is delayed. It is a delayed upgrade here for Baby Marine. Very nice EMP. There's a storm moving forward. But he stims in, and this time he should take the fight. This time there's no excess storms. The MP was what he needed, and he's done it. Yeah, he can stim, he can win, takes down the Colossus, catching at every single one. And now he can finish off the base. GG gets called, and Baby Marine ties up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. A very intense back and forth here. Babe Marine had a massive lead early on by sniping so many probes, but he also was losing that lead. If you recall, he was taking some really rough fights in the middle of the game where he was ahead, but he was, again, throwing away a lot of supply. He was opting to delay his third, delay his fourth, delay his tech as well. He could have been a little bit greedier in either direction when it comes to teching or when it comes to expanding. I do think he could have taken that initial a little bit more, because he was going for these earlier fights that weren't really going his way. Like, the game progressed, and ShoWTimE almost recovered. He almost did recover, but he never really established a fifth. It never really got up and running, and he wasn't able to, you know, keep up that economy. Not like on lane lines. And with that, we're going into the ace match here. We're going into Tokamak. Let's go. We're going to be loading into one of the larger maps of the map pool. This is almost the direct contrast to Torches. We did speak about the map itself, how Torches, because it's so small, because it's so congested, we saw that ShoWTimE was really struggling to take a fifth base. He just could not expand. Here it is much easier to get a fifth base and even a sixth base as well. Much easier. But here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Italian Terran player, we have the red Terran representing Streamer Zone. It is Baby Marine. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the German Protoss player, we have the blue Protoss for Sentinels. It is ShoWTimE. We go. As for the first time tonight, we have an ace match. We have a game 3. Let's go, baby, let's go. We made it. As we are building up. So far, double gas opener out of Baby Marine. Interesting choice here on a larger map, so he's going for a faster factory. There's, I would say, less of a chance to find damage early on here, unless the goal is to try to go into a faster starport and potentially even faster Banshee play. Again, there are different ways to kind of go about this opener. For now, there's the factory. ShoWTimE, of course, is aware. This should prompt ShoWTimE to be safe and to go for a higher gateway count early on. And to go for 3-gate blink. At least 3-gate. If he was a little bit more paranoid, we could see a faster robo and faster gases at the natural. Meanwhile, Tech Lab first. Okay. So it's going to be Rax into Tech Lab, not Reactor. Remember, last game was Reactor into Reactor to Hellion. This time it's Tech Lab into, most likely, Atom Swap into early Cyclone. There are some builds where you can go into an early tank, into a tank drop. But it is safe to go for the Cyclone. CC on location. And this is going to be Cyclone. Cyclone's on the way into Starport. Reaper's deflected, and the Reaper so far hasn't seen too much. Dives into the main. Ooh, the CC is going to be delayed. Reaper will eventually confirm what's going on. So Reaper doesn't quite get behind the mineral line. Reaper is targeted down. Reaper does fall. And Baby Marine, he fails to scout what's happening. He does not get eyes on the Twilight Council. Could be a Stargate, could be a Robo. He's in the dark. Going for the mine drop. Here, just gaining map control. It is going to be a robo on 2 bases. Okay, so as we assumed, we do see ShoWTimE being a little bit safer here. I say that, sorry, 2 gateways into a robo, then into a third. So he stays on the lower gateway counts. A little bit greedy here from ShoWTimE. The map does lend to this though. We spoke about how much more safer you can be on tokamak. Much more safer compared to torches. Drop into the main. ShoWTimE is ready. Oh god, he's more than ready. Gets a volley off. Mine drop is denied. Add-on swap here into Raven production. Oh, sorry, I should say just makes the tech lab. Goes into Ravens. And it's building up. Tanks are on the way. Building up his bio. Standard follow-up here out of Baby Marine. Nothing too significant. Oh. As ShoWTimE, he just shuts down all the aggression. Shuts down the mine drop, denies the Reaper Scout. Baby Marine is building up. Now, if Baby Marine, if he throws down 2 more Raxes here on 2 bases, then there's a high chance that he will go for an all-in. I don't really like the idea of all-ins here on tokamak, but we'll keep an eye on Baby Marine. ShoWTimE going to +1 into charge, standard follow-up out of ShoWTimE. Throwing down extra gateways. And we're still just building up. Baby Marine just breaking out. Oh, waiting in the army, not bad. Takes off a Stalker. At this point, we're waiting for the 3rd CC. Waiting for the expansion. Massive gateway explosion out of ShoWTimE. Bay is on the way for Colossus. Ooh, the medevac gets caught. Brutal pickup here as medevac does go down. And the mine drop is denied. Rough position for Baby Marine. Very rough. Again, what is the goal? What is the plan here? Still no Raxes, so again, he should be expanding. Let's run this one SCV. Yeah, ShoWTimE from here should be getting a 4th. There we go. 4th is on the way. Taking it to Colossus. Marine, he is moving out. Does break out. He is spotted. Scan reveals the Zealots. Stalker's in position to deflect. There's that 3rd CC. A late 3rd base hit by Baby Marine, but it's on the way. Just very late. And this has to get damage done. No 4th base out of ShoWTimE. He could come in for the surround. Uh-oh. A little bit premature. Colossus has arrived. Tanks are on siege. Yeah, the tanks are unsieged. ShoWTimE we can move in. And Baby Marine, this doesn't bode well. Yeah, Zell's taking in from behind. Mitchell goes off due to my connection, but the tanks, they will fall. Getting 1, getting 2, getting all 3. Force pick up. Dropping into the main. But you can see Baby Marine, he plummets in supply. Losing a medevac. Thankfully does pull away with the other. Does boost back home. From here, does hit the mineral line. Gets a couple of worker kills. ShoWTimE has momentum. Remember, there's no tanks. There's no tanks. We're heavily reliant on these mines. Heavily reliant. Decent connections. True. Fates out one of the mine shots. There's 3 water mines left. Saint Colossus has arrived, and ShoWTimE is just overwhelming. He's just overwhelming the army. GG gets called, and ShoWTimE, he will claim the series 2-1, taking down Baby Marine. GG. GG, well played. Again, a very, very dedicated style out of Baby Marine. Winding it back, as a reminder, one of the reasons why everything swung so heavily in favor of ShoWTimE is that Baby Marine, he didn't expand. He did take a third, but it was a very late base. Remember, he delayed his base so heavily until he pushed, until he moved out. And unfortunately, with him moving out, we saw that ShoWTimE got away with greed. He got away with a lot of greed here. Remember, he went for a 2-gate blink opener into a third base, which is a rare sight nowadays. He got away with it early on, so he was able to have a greater economy. He stayed on 3 bases. Because of that, he was able to afford a massive amount of zealots, and he pulled off the surround. If ShoWTimE had been a little bit greedier by claiming a 4th base, or if he had even been safer, then honestly, Baby Marine, his move out would have been a little bit more ideal. There would have been less to work with, and he could have achieved a little bit more, but he got completely surrounded, and with that, GG. He got swallowed up, and ShoWTimE will take the series. He will claim the series here, and for the time being, that is going to be us wrapping up here for the day. I say for the time being because we do have another broadcast later on tonight. That is going to be the Pondcast, but we're going to be ending our coverage of Group A and Group B. We do plan on coming back tomorrow for some more HomeStory Cup to cover Group C. Group C is going to be tomorrow, and then we'll have another separate broadcast for Group D. But there's a lot more matches available here for HomeStory Cup, and technically we could keep this going to cover even more matches, but we have the podcast in a couple of hours, and I would like to get some sleep before the podcast. The podcast is scheduled to begin in 6.5 hours. Yeah, 6.5 hours time is going to be the podcast. That is our weekly talk show. I do apologize because originally we had scheduled our podcast is usually on Wednesdays, but this week we did move it to Thursday, so it's a day later, and I think it's going to be clashing a little bit with RSL as a result, so a little bit less than ideal, but the RSL is going to be starting later on tonight. The playoffs, I mean, going for 4 days of RSL playoffs. Going to be hype, going to be exciting, and we'll try to blaze through our podcast, our topic list, to go over as much as we can. To give you a bit of a teaser, what are we talking about tonight? I do have to catch up on some interviews. What do we have? We have some roster changes, we have some player switches, we have a lot of tournaments to update as well. We have an interview with Geralt. True, I'm going to be listening to that before I go to bed to take some notes, but Geralt, he had an interview with the SE Historian. We had some Star Zagora interviews, and we still have to go over the 4 Horsemen episode with Kalaris. I probably will have to postpone that until next week. It's like a 2-hour episode, and I'm probably not going to have enough time to catch up on it. Not this week, but maybe next week we'll be able to hear from Kalaris and see what was said on the 4 Horsemen. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for support. Again, we're going to be catching up with the Geralt interview, and likewise, not just that, there's the StarCraft Evolution amendment to the PTR, so there's like another PTR update for StarCraft Evolution, and of course plenty of updates on tournaments as well. With that, GG will play. Thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys later on tonight for the podcast, or tomorrow for some more HomeStory Cup replay coverage. With that, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. Ciao, bye, ciao, see you next time. Hasta luego. Thanks for watching.